Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood.
Flagged for copyright.
God fucking damn it. Why do you guys steal my thunder like that?
Hello and welcome to So to Speak. That was Evan Mead doing a...
No. Don't you mean Evan...
Bleed?
Evan Bleed. Yes.
Oh.
And we are here with Bile Groniger and Corpsey McDonald and...
Josh Weinberg.
Yeah, he
Josh
doesn't
Weinberg's with us.
Yeah, I'm not
And
going
there's
to
also
costume
Josh.
this year.
Yeah.
He's not in costume.
And
He's
there's
okay.
also Josh Weinberg.
Yeah.
Yes. Today we're going to do a Halloween special. One of our first. We did do a Treehouse of Horror special last year, but
That
now
was
we're...
just us ripping off Four Finger Discount where we geek out about The Simpsons for a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. But today we're just going to talk about Halloween and some of our favorite things about it, like what our favorite movie to watch, or special, what our favorite costume was, as well as what candy we like, what song we like to listen to, and what does the holiday mean to us. So we're going to go in order. And starting off, we got Cody with us.
What's the first one?
What's your favorite Halloween movie?
Oh, the movie? I have to go with the 1986 classic, The Fly.
The Fly. Oh, Cronenberg. Very Canadian.
David Cronenberg's The Fly, a remake of the 1953 film, I believe.
I'm not sure. I saw it last year, actually, for the first time.
And it's exactly what...
58.
1958, okay.
Oh.
And also the short story of the same name from the year before that.
I remember when I was a kid falling in love with Jurassic Park, and I immediately fell in love with Jeff Goldblum in that movie. And I said to my mom, what else is he in? I like him so much. And she said, well, he's in this movie called The Fly, but I don't think you should watch it.
Probably a good idea.
I was like, what is it about? He's like, oh, he turns into a fly. And the way I imagined it in my brain was actually... the way that the 50s movie is like, where you head swap.
Oh.
There's a human head with a fly head, and there's a fly with a human
and
head.
with the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror thing, you thought that's how that was going to go, too.
And, oh boy, when I was like 12, 13, 14, finally when I sat down and watched The Fly, almost traumatizing, but not quite there.
Hey, we talked about that on a previous show a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a great, fantastic film. I just recently rewatched it last weekend, and I love how efficient it is. Like, the first 10 minutes, it jumps into the premise. Like, Jeff Goldblum is getting interviewed by Gina Davis. She's a reporter. And right away, it's just, he's building this machine that can teleport you from one pod to the next. He wants to be the first person to ever teleport from like, I think he said, I want to be able to, like, go from 10 feet across the room. The very first person. And as they're developing their relationship, and they have really good chemistry throughout the whole movie. Like, the first half of it is almost like I wouldn't say like a romantic movie, but it has like tendencies of that. Mm-hmm. But then when one night he gets a little jealous that she's mingling-ish or trying to get rid of this old boyfriend boss character. Yeah, this kind of a jerk character. Jeff Goldblum's character, Seth Brundle, gets kind of jealous, and he gets drunk one night, and he's like, alright, I'm going to test out myself in the pod. But oh no, a fly got into the machine with him, and the computer decided to splice them together. And slowly throughout the film, I don't want to give it away, but like it's quite the experience. It really does escalate. I love the escalation in this movie, and it's quite horrific. It's just psychologically horrific as well. Like, he starts to get like tics and like starts to like get like really aggressive and talking really fast.
Not tics like the bugs though, right?
Yeah.
A fly with tics.
No, but like he starts to like twitch his head really fast, because you know how like flies have really fast like reflexes and all that.
Yeah, he's developing like the things that a fly has.
Yeah, and it does escalate to a really horrific body horror climax. And kudos to those makeup designers, because it's incredible looking.
It does a lot despite using so little.
Yeah,
like small group of characters, small locations.
Very like almost like 2 locations throughout the whole movie. You only got like 3 main cast members. Like, it does a lot with what it has, and it's just so little too.
Yeah,
and it's very well cut. It was a lot shorter than I was expecting, but that's what I mean. It's just very efficient. It's just an efficient horror film.
Economic filmmaking at its finest.
Absolutely. And Evan, you should watch it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm really happy the makeup turned out so well because they ended up winning an Oscar for it.
Yes.
No.
Have you seen this, Josh? Or?
I have not. I know we've talked about it at least a couple of times before. I really do want to, like, looking at the different phases of Seth actually transforming into the monstrosity towards the end. It's also very much like what they would do for Carpenter's films as well.
It's very comparable to like the Thing and other films in that caliber.
Like, I may not watch a lot of horror movies, but the best practical effects do wonders.
Yeah,
it's true, they do.
You learned that through me, through my freaking freak out in the last episode. Yeah, no, Brundlefly, as he likes to call himself throughout the movie afterwards. Yeah, not quite traumatizing, even though that I'm surprised it didn't traumatize me. Like, when I was complaining about creature effects, I was actually surprised it wasn't as traumatizing as I was expecting.
Probably because you feel really bad for Jeff Goldblum's character. He's not an outright monster. He's a very tragic figure.
It's very tragic. He's an eccentric scientist, but then that combinates with, like, a common housefly that has, like, no instinct other than just, like... Devour, exactly. Yeah, it's horrific. It's a horror film.
And even though
it's simplicity.
Even though the love interest is named Veronica, I know my Veronica... is not going to want to see this movie at all.
And my Veronica as well does not care for this at all. Yeah, she's like, no more milky vomit for me. she's already seen it.
It's not vomit, it's enzymes.
You know what? If Josh is kind of inspiring me here. If he has an interest in seeing it, then I'll probably check it out.
Well, it was distributed by Fox, so theoretically it should be on Disney Plus.
It is, yeah.
Oh, so you mean it's on Star Network?
Mm-hmm. Well, which is a part of it. The moral of the story is he spent so much time thinking about whether he should merge with the Fly, he didn't spend enough time thinking about whether he should.
Precisely, Josh. That's exactly the moral.
They're getting a lot of parallels between Goldblum roles, past and present.
And side note, don't bother with the Fly 2.
Okay.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. Isn't Daphne Zuniga in that?
Yes, and Eric Stoltz.
Oh, man.
Oh, Princess Vespa, what'd they do to you?
I hope she's glad.
The movie's bad, I guarantee it. Would I lie?
Fooled you!
One side note, what exactly does the gynecologist character bring to the table?
He's played by the director.
Well, yes, but aside from that, he's just there.
That was Cronenberg?
Yeah.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's a dream sequence where you see you see the fly, like her hatch a fly,
a maggot.
A maggot. Yeah.
Oh God!
You want to know how they did that effect? They put two vibrating dildos inside of like a rubber sack, and it just moves on its own because the vibrators are moving inside.
Oh my God!
Only Cronenberg, man.
Jesus.
Gotta give that props. It's pretty cool.
That is creative.
Yeah.
The Fly. You definitely check it out. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a great horror film. Excellent. Okay, I guess I'm next. My pick for Halloween. It's kind of an unconventional choice. It's not the first one everyone thinks of, but my pick is the 2001 psychological drama horror pseudo superhero movie Donnie Darko with a very young Jake Gyllenhaal. And
you'll allow me, Lyle. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces. And so on.
Once again, flag for copyright.
Yes.
So, the copyright gods will not be kind to this.
Go into the plot of Donnie Darko, shall we?
Oh, we'll be here till 3 a.m.
5 hours later.
And that's why it's brilliant. Now go watch it, even though I explained everything.
Yeah. No, seriously, put the French narrator sound effect in it. Now explain the plot. 5 hours later.
Okay, so I know a lot of people probably don't realize that this movie, but yes, this whole film takes place throughout the entire month of October. Donnie has an entire month to basically fix a rift in time, and he's accompanied by a large rabbit figure named Frank who tells him to do things. And yeah, I don't know. I could break down the whole plot, but it's very comparable to like David Lynch, where it has like this kind of this out of body experience kind of thing, where it's like the film covers things like predestination, and like fate and all that. Donnie, much like the Brundlefly, is also a very tragic figure because he knows that he's gonna die alone during this journey. So yeah, it's a tragic film. It has some funny moments. he told me to shove it up my anus. But I don't know. I just think Donnie Darko is like really underrated for a Halloween movie because it has like this epic Halloween party where they're just listening to Joy Division and like it really captures the autumn mood. I think better than some movies. I think I've shown it to you, Evan. Cody, I imagine you've seen it.
I've seen 10 years ago. I barely remember.
It's been a while for you. Wow,
very long time. Yeah,
I have seen Donnie Darko. I've seen the director's cut twice.
Yeah, me too.
And the copy that we watched for the first time was actually my copy of the theatrical cut, and then you tracked down a copy of the.
I like both versions.
I do. I actually think the theatrical cut has a better opening song than the director's cut. The director's
Echo and the Bunnymen, yeah.
The Killing Moon.
Mm-hmm.
But I ultimately think that the director's cut is more coherent with its storytelling.
I think the way to go about it is watch the theatrical cut first, just so you have a general basis, and then if you're interested, watch the director's cut.
Well,
so you have more context.
I just showed this movie to a friend who hadn't seen it, and we totally just went straight to the director's cut because a friend of hers said if you're the only version you should watch is the director's cut because it explains the whole idea of what's going on.
It's hard to believe this was an indie film, right?
Yeah, well,
crazy.
Drew Barrymore, one of the biggest stars at the time, she executive produced it.
It's like an indie video game that gets distributed by a significantly big publisher.
Hey, Josh, now that you mentioned video games, I know this might be unlikely, but I have a theory that Majora's Mask inspired parts of this movie. Not the whole movie, but parts of it, because there are tons of...
Nintendo would never.
No, hear me out. There are like parallels that I think are too coincidental to have been like, oh yeah, no. Because they came out a year apart from each other. Donnie Darko was probably well into development by the time Majora's Mask was finished and released.
What is this? Sorry.
Okay, The Legend of Zelda. Majora's Mask.
Zelda. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Because there are parallels between the themes in Majora's Mask and themes in Donnie Darko.
Essentially, the idea is the comparison is Majora's Mask. You have to stop a world-ending calamity from happening, but you have a very short window. And there's time travel involved.
And then there's a troubled kid in a mask.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's also the black text, like, X amount of time remains.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a scene in the movie where they're showing a PSA and this kid was like, I'm not afraid anymore?
Yeah.
Okay, my buddy Troy always brings up that scene because he finds it hilarious. Like the kid's delivery of that line.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a cheesy personal growth and development video that was made in 5
So that's like the only scene I've seen multiple times.
Yeah. The one scene the two scenes that stuck with me, well, one you already mentioned, and the second one is where like the guru actually comes to the school and Donnie Darko challenges his whole ideology to his face and calls him the Antichrist.
Yeah.
No, that speech was epic.
I'll always remember that this is Seth Rogen's first movie.
I do remember that.
Yes.
His very first line is
the cast in general for this is actually quite surprising. The quality. You got Patrick Swayze in here.
The guru.
You've got I forget her name, the character's name from The Graduate, but Catherine Ross.
Yeah.
Is that
yes, Catherine Ross.
She's Dr. Thurman.
She played Elaine in The Graduate.
Yes, Elaine. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a young Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah, her first.
Jerry Traynor, who would later go on to be Spencer on iCarly.
Jenna Malone.
Malone.
Davy Chase, who voiced Lilo in Lilo and Stitch and did the English dub of Chihiro in Spirited Away.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the.
And the other Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Maggie. Then you have Seth Rogen in his first line in cinematic history. I like your boobs.
And
truly, he fit a few words.
He fit right in with the frat pack.
This is during the Freaks and Geeks era where he just says like one line. He's very sidelined in his earlier work until like 40-year-old Virgin is like the first little breakout thing where he comes out. He's like, you guys ever seen a guy fucking a horse? And that's like
it's kind of cool, but I don't know.
I mean, even Drew Barrymore herself is in this.
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah,
she is.
She's the teacher.
She's Donnie's teacher.
She's a Karen.
Oh. She's a Karen.
Yeah, and to think she filmed this around the same time as Freddy Got Fingered. And and Jake Gyllenhaal filmed this around the same time he did Bubble Boy.
Wow.
What a weird year.
Now imagine if Bubble Boy
was.
is actually Donnie Darko, but he isolates himself further by being in the bubble.
Oh.
I want to see a movie where Bubble Boy fights Mysterio.
the Bubble Boy got fingered.
Spider-Man, build a new home.
You know what?
We're not even talking about Donnie Darko anymore.
One thing
I want to see this. It's just like
Do you think
the
it's-
idea of the Frank the Rabbit just reminds me of like how, if you've ever heard of the video game series Sam and Max, how it's the police dog Sam and his partner Max. Max can kind of depraved as well.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people ask me before they see Donnie Darko, it's like, is this a scary movie? And I'm like, it's a little...
No, it's not.
It's a little intense, but it's not scary. It's more like, it's just sort of a, like, trip down, like a disturbed kid's psyche.
I would say it's a psychological horror.
Yeah, it's a psychological horror for sure, but it's not outright
There's
horrifying.
elements of bizarreness to it, but it sounds
surreal.
like it's a lot more subtle than others in that lane.
But I think the tone, probably, you watch it around the fall season. Like, it kind of screams that time. You know?
Always. Always remember the two ladies, like, speed walking down the streets, and they're on a trampoline, and there's leaves covering it.
Now,
Yeah.
do you think it's worth mentioning that a certain world-altering event that took place in 2001 fucked over the release of this movie?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
when you
so
have
good bet.
when you have a jet engine land on your protagonist, it's probably not. That's just bad timing all around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that was unfortunate. Like, bad timing, I should say.
Yeah.
Bad timing.
I mean, who can blame them?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a tragedy.
I mean, at least unlike some that got flacked with that sort of bad timing, Donnie Darko's like still has a legacy. They made an awful spin-off, which I just refused to watch.
I was gonna talk about that.
S. Darko.
S. Darko.
Is S. Darko a sequel or a spin-off?
Yeah.
It's a sequel.
Yeah.
This follows the sister.
So
Apparently, though, he just announced earlier this year there's a new sequel in progress.
Oh, no.
My god! Is Kelly involved?
I don't know. Can they call it I Darko?
I Darko.
I Darko.
It's like
I don't know.
lowercase I, comma, Darko.
Is Will Smith gonna show up?
Oh
And,
god.
Are we gonna have Billie Eilish doing a cover of Mad World?
why not?
Well,
It could
that
happen.
would be too on brand.
Alright, so
I feel bad for Richard Kelly, man. His career really didn't take
the
off.
Southland Tales is the one that kind of killed his career.
Yeah, in the box. Like, he just didn't find his footing. So many of his projects just fell through, and I feel bad for him, but he'll always have that lightning in a bottle.
For sure.
Or in this case, a man in a bunny suit.
So double feature, The Fly 2 and S. Darko.
Yeah. I've talked enough about Donnie Darko. We should move on. How about you, Josh? What's your favorite Halloween movie?
This one is not so much in the traditional idea of spooky. It's not really scary at all. It is not really anything disturbing about it, but it also really treads the line between Halloween and Christmas.
Ooh.
I'm talking about Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Not
from
directed by
1993.
Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, not directed by Tim Burton.
Wait, what's this? What's this? What's this?
Do 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 do.
Henry Selick, forever marginalized.
And since I am dead, I can take off my head and recite Shakespearean quotations.
That's what it is. Quotations. We're just gonna quote the entire sentence.
Yeah.
Oh man, what hasn't been said about this particular film? I mean, some people, you don't really know whether it's a traditional Halloween film or Christmas because it really involves both. But essentially, you have this wonderful fellow named Jack Skellington, who is known in his land of Halloween Town as the Pumpkin King, and he organizes Halloween all the time. But he gets bored and wants to actually celebrate Christmas. But he has to go to a different world, which, by the way, this movie establishes that there are different parallel universes for, like, each holiday. So, like, Christmas has its own designated land, and the MCU would have a field day. So, basically, he goes to the Christmas land to find out stuff, but along the way, there's this side plot about this character, Sally, who is the creation of this mad scientist, and she's very sheltered, but she wants to go out and explore the world, and their paths cross, and while Jack tries to prepare Christmas, he ends up running into this wonderful little villain named Oogie Boogie.
Who is barely in the movie, quite honestly. Like, great.
He's barely in the movie, but what he is in of that is pretty intense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the best I can. I love the way he says it.
I'm not going to spoil the entire thing, but the climax is wonderful. Even the very last scene, I've watched like some of the behind the scenes as to how they actually like assemble this, because this is stop motion.
Yes.
So
It's
it already is
excellent
pretty
stop
intensive
motion.
production wise, but
Holds
the
up
way
very well.
they pulled it off, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And not to mention just the general, it's one of those things where it's, when you become so associated with something, I mean, that's the idea. When you're a little skeleton, people are going to associate you with Halloween, but you can do whatever you want. You can have Christmas with your Halloween. We can live like Jack and Sally if we want.
I knew you were gonna reference Blink-182.
Realistically, I think that line in I Miss You may have been my first sort of introduction to what would become this film before I even watched it.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool. I think
Yeah, because I don't think I had fully heard of the film before I heard the line in that song, but I kind of like the idea of Jack and Sally really being, they have really good chemistry together.
I found that.
Plus, his dog Zero steals the show.
I kind of found the whole Sally and Jack love plot to kind of come out of left field.
It didn't. It needed more fleshing out, yes,
Could've used
but
the scene,
I feel
but
like
that's alright.
they're good-natured characters, so I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
There are two 90s childhood classics that I didn't watch until I was 17 or 18. And the first being Beauty and the Beast, and the other one being A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I didn't see this till I
I
was a teenager. either.
I don't have like a nostalgia kick over it. I only seen it once, and I really appreciated it.
I
It's
watched it.
fantastic.
I
Yeah.
watched it once when I was younger, and I didn't get it. But then I got it when I watched it years later. But I understand that he was trying to steal the holiday, and but other than that, like,
Would you
I
say Jack-
honestly, as a kid, stop motion didn't really appeal to me. It took me years later as an adult to actually appreciate the art form going towards it. Just stories being told that way just never really appealed to me. I don't know what it was.
I always loved stop motion, like even all the way back to like the Ray Harryhausen era. I always found it so cool.
Stop motion and claymation in general, the stuff that takes a lot of detail and a lot of finesse to really get the best performances out of, but when it's done right, it's fantastic. I'm repeating myself, but yeah.
To quote Howard from The Big Bang Theory, "Oh, you made a stop motion Lego movie? Remember, it's not just making them move; it's making them feel alive." And that is the only
And
time.
I'm really impressed with the voice cast they got
You'll
for
ever
this
catch me
too. A
quoting
lot
the
of
Big
people
Bang.
that fit super well. Of course, Catherine O'Hara as Sally. That is a really nice touch.
Yay.
I was really impressed with Chris Sarandon's. Chris Sarandon does a speaking voice, but how about my man Danny Elfman doing the singing?
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, if you got a Tim Burton film, that equals Danny Elfman.
I think it's one of Danny Elfman's crowning achievements as a composer.
That is true. I mean, this does feel the most like if you want to get somebody into Oingo Boingo and Danny Elfman's work as a conductor, show them this first, and then his stuff on The Simpsons. Apparently, this is based though on, I guess, a poem Tim Burton wrote, so that's kind of how this came to be.
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah.
Frank and Weenie was also like a really short thing
Yeah.
that he did, right?
that was one of his
Which-
shorts.
That
Yeah.
came out in 2012, many years later.
No, it's
No,
based,
actually,
it's
the
based on a
short
90s
itself
short.
is also
Oh.
on Disney Plus as well, I believe.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
short, and then it became a movie.
Oh
years
yeah, no,
later.
the feature came
Yeah.
out in 2012. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it wasn't a poem, or was it it was a short?
Frank
of
and
a
Weenie's
poem?
a short. Nightmare Before Christmas is a poem.
And then
But
Hans
is it a-
sort
but
of
is it a
made the Nightmare
poetic
Before
short?
Christmas a
No.
marketing thing.
Oh, it's not. Okay, I thought it was like a poetic
Now
short.
Vincent is a poetic short.
Vincent.
That's another stop motion animation short he did.
Okay.
Yes. Whatever
Yeah,
you gotta do
when
with
you-
Tim Burton, deep, so to
Someday.
speak. I want to.
Yeah.
Someday soon enough.
I'll say enough great things about Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and then I will be out the door.
And I know Cody was singing What's This earlier, but there are some fantastic songs from this film. We got This Is Halloween. We've got Kidnap the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Sally's song is nice as well. But what was interesting to me, at least when I was a teenager, is seeing that it had some interesting acts of the time sort of covering songs from this. I mean, there was Fall Out Boy did What's This on the when the soundtrack got reissued in 2006. They had a bonus disc. So there was Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco did This Is Halloween. Fiona Apple did Sally's Song. But I think the crowning achievement was a few years later in 2008 when they did an entire cover album of this film's soundtrack in Nightmare Revisited.
I love that album.
Is that the
I'm
one
going
where...
to-
That's the one where Marilyn Manson covered This Is Halloween?
And also demonetized.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna talk about that.
Oh,
later.
sorry.
But
Right,
Rise Against's
right.
version of Making Christmas. How can I forget about Making Christmas? It's great in the movie, and then Rise Against's version on Nightmare Revisited is great.
Making Christmas, making Christmas.
Making Christmas. Rodrigo and Gabriela doing Oogie Boogie song. I've loved their work for years. They're a Mexican acoustic duo. They do a lot of great stuff. It was interesting just to see the amount of people they could pull together.
Yeah, it was an eclectic list.
If people are interested in getting into some of the tracks from that film, definitely listen. You can stream the soundtracks, obviously, most places you can stream music, so check out some of those selections, and then at least check out a good chunk of Nightmare Revisited.
I was just mentioning it right before recording that you gotta watch this movie in November.
So, like... Because
Yeah.
Perfect halfway
the
point.
movie
It's
literally...
just after Halloween, but it's still before the holiday season,
Well,
so you get the right atmosphere.
Yeah.
Cody is right because it ends... the movie begins when Halloween ends.
Like between November 10th and 15th, perfect
Yeah.
time, I would say. You
Okay.
know what?
And
Fuck it.
then-
I'll probably revisit it this month.
And the
or
fact
next
that
month,
it
I
gets
should say.
re-released so frequently, it even got re-released just this past October, and it actually made over $1.3 million.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
So it
was-
actually
was a
finished
hit.
in the top 5 that weekend.
Oh,
There was a
wow.
3D version too that was released in theaters.
I missed that one. I didn't get a chance to see
Yeah,
it, but I think it
me
was
neither.
good. Although they did release a 3D Blu-ray of it about 10 years ago.
I just can't see it looking good in 3D. I don't know.
Now
I guess
did-
This Is Halloween would be trippy as hell on in 3D though.
Now
This
it's
is Halloween, but it's like in the style of Pink Elephants on Parade.
Uh-oh, don't trigger Evan.
Shut up!
Now, did Tim Burton produce and write the film?
Yes.
He did,
co-wrote
and
it.
Yes.
I think
Okay.
Danny Elfman's girlfriend wrote the script, I believe.
Okay.
But he came up with a story.
Who directed it?
Henry Selick. So the guy who did Coraline and James and the Giant Peach
Ah.
and Monkey Bone, but we don't talk about Monkey Bone.
Hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, 3 out of 4.
Okay. Because it's marketed as Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, he created most of the designs.
it looks
he
like a
made the
Tim Burton
story.
movie. It feels and
has
looks
the
like
tone.
one.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
Henry Selick can take the L, but like in the end of the day, his work did pay off.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I think Jack Skellington as a character has remained pretty prevalent in Disney media over the last
Not just
almost
Disney
3
movie,
years.
not just Disney media, pop culture in general.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
like,
I mean, yeah, all the Hot Topic stuff.
yeah.
I love how
Again, Hot Topic seemed to really latch on to this film.
Family Guy also
absolutely.
took a stab at a whole demographic for getting tattoos
I mean,
of
isn't
Jack
that
on
Family
their- on
Guy's
their butt.
MO anyways?
Yeah.
I love how hesitant Disney was with this property until it started making money. It's like, no, it's a Touchstone Pictures movie. It's not Disney. Oh, now it's Disney. Hey, Kingdom Hearts, take it away.
It kind of no.
It's
Oh,
very
man,
true.
that was a trip.
Do you know what? It
Oh, I
reminds
love
me
that
of.
stuff.
It reminds me of Bart Gets Famous when Krusty's like, "Some people got it, some people don't, and you, my friend,
Oh, my
hold,
friend, definitely do not have.
hold that."
Open this door and finish the sentence out here.
And then everyone's like, "Hey, see, I didn't do it, boy. He's mine. I own him, and all the subsidiary rights."
And the fact that, like, even in the Disney theme parks, there's been some, like, Nightmare Before Christmas love. I think the Haunted Mansion actually gets a Christmas makeover with, like, Nightmare Before Christmas themes. Yeah, Disneyland has been doing that for the last 20 years.
Very nice.
And there's a bunch of other stuff. So, Nightmare Before Christmas, it's not quite a Christmas movie, it's not quite a Halloween movie, but you get a nice slice of wackiness at the end.
Yeah, it's glorious.
It's good.
Mm.
It's really good.
So, Evan, what's your pick for the Halloween movie?
Well, not to quote the last thing we talked about, but this is Halloween. No, seriously, this is Halloween.
You took me quite literally, good
Yes.
sir.
Basically, I am not a horror movie guy at all. But that doesn't mean if my faithful friends here want to introduce me to a good horror movie once in a blue moon, or in this case, once in a full moon in October, I will not say no. The last few years in getting to know Lyle, and I guess now with Cody entering this whole quartet of podcast hosts and friends that we've had and we formed over the last year or so, I'm probably going to see more horror movies. Point is, in one of these requests, I saw John Carpenter's 1978 classic Halloween for the first time in the year 2020. Now, the premise is delightfully simplistic, but man, is it a fun movie to actually watch. When you see how they filmed it and how they execute its very simplistic premise, I'll explain. So, you have a teenage girl who got stuck babysitting on Halloween night when she would much rather be getting drunk and partying with her friends, which is what all teenagers want to do. And I love how it parallels...
Hashtag not all teens.
No, you're right. No, but the thing is, I kind of liked how it parallels what Halloween means to kids and what Halloween means to teenagers. Because when you're a teenager, Halloween has a completely different meaning. But we will get to that at the end of the episode. But when you're a kid, Halloween means one thing. When you're a teenager, Halloween means another. And when you're a teenager, the last fucking thing you want to be doing is babysitting. While on the street that one Laurie Strode is babysitting on, a completely other plot is going on where an escaped mental patient is running amok, and
he's known as the Shape.
Yes.
Originally.
Of you?
The Shape of you.
No, of water.
Oh, no, of water. Thank you.
Laurie Strode is not in love with the shape of this fucker.
What's his name?
His name is Mike Myers.
Wait, his name Mike Myers in a horror film. I thought that was Cat in the Hat.
Cody. You are
trigger Evan again.
No, I'll allow it. That was
so. This
great.
is how I marry an axe murderer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So his full name is Michael Myers. He's called Michael Myers in Halloween. I've only seen this movie once, but he's called Michael Myers.
They don't call him Michael until the second movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
no. I
saw this boy with the blackest eyes.
But in the opening where he's a kid and he kills his
Michael.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah.
Okay,
so
he does call him Michael. He's just not referred to very often in the movie.
Oh wait, should I give away the twist? Ish. That's not really canon anymore, or is it? I don't even know if it is. This whole timeline of this franchise is all fucked.
Yeah, it's a floppy franchise.
Laurie Strode in Halloween 2, it was revealed that they're siblings.
Whoa.
But that's not a thing in the new movies.
No,
right?
you know what?
I don't know.
I do.
Yeah,
Well, I did
hard.
want. So going back to the whole how this movie is shot. The thing that turns me, I've since learned that in watching Halloween, the thing that turns me off most about horror movies is actually not the scare factor itself. I enjoy a good scare. It's the gore that I don't like, which is why.
You're in luck.
Well, no, which is why Day of the Dead is a movie that I have tried and failed to sit through.
I will force you to watch that movie. It's
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
Well, I've already seen one of the most disgusting scenes in a YouTube clip.
Oh, the Joe Mulatto death? Yeah.
No, Captain Rhodes.
Yeah, Joe Pilato.
Yeah,
Exactly.
according to Lyle over here, that apparently isn't the most disturbing death in that movie. But let's go back to
It's
Halloween.
Close.
So, Halloween is not a gore fest. It doesn't need to be a gore fest. I do understand that, filmmakers get a little carried away. Even before the Marvel Cinematic Universe gave franchises a bad name, there were like 8 Halloween movies. They made 1 through 5, and then they made Curse of Michael Myers, H2O, and Resurrection exclusively in that order. Then there were the reboots.
Well, the remakes.
The remakes.
Zombie.
Okay, the remakes of Rob Zombie, yes. And then there was the 2018 reboot, which, full disclosure, I watched that for the first time ever 2 nights ago, and despite the fact that it's gorier than its original predecessor, I liked it.
It's actually now considered to be the proper follow-up to the original.
So you just kind of have to disregard the other 7 or 8 sequels.
So the sequel to Halloween is called Halloween.
No, guys, it's a remake of H2O.
Oh
yeah,
well,
H2O is a solid movie. I didn't mind that one.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
H2O has its moments. It knew how to at least end things.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, these 3 new ones, it screams franchise. Just keep things going. Yeah.
But if they call it Ends, if the next one next year is going to be called Halloween Ends, they can just call it Halloween again.
Right? They need to
We're
stop.
in a Mobius loop.
Yeah.
They kind of need to stop.
Well,
You should watch Season of the Witch, Halloween 3.
That's a pretty good one.
Okay.
It's a good. That's a great
Wait.
Halloween season
I
movie.
thought 1 through 5 didn't have subtitles.
No, the third one's different because it's actually kind of like it's a bit of a spin-off. It has nothing to do with the Michael Myers storyline.
Oh,
It's an anthology.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, it's not an anthology. It's just a different story.
Well, no, I'm saying the franchise was supposed to be an anthology.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's not an anthology
But
film.
people hated the third one so much because Michael Myers wasn't in it. Then they decided to backtrack and go, "Oh, okay, resurrect Michael Myers for the 4th film," and then that's how it's been ever since.
The alternate universe where the Halloween franchise
Now-
sort of became its own thing.
Yeah.
It is worth mentioning now.
Great score.
So what are now in terms of like the classic slasher movie villains? Like if you compare them to like Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, or Leatherface, Michael Myers doesn't need to be. Michael Myers is brutal, but and also just like all those other 3, he can't die.
And do you want to point out what the face is?
Oh, the face.
The mask?
It's
The mask?
The mask. That
Do you
he
know?
wears.
Do you know the origins of it?
Yes,
Stole it
because
from a
Lyle
hardware
told me.
store.
Apparently, they took a makeup. What the fuck is the terminology? A makeup mold of a classic actor's
William Shatner.
They took a makeup mold of William Shatner's face.
I actually thought it was
And
just a
then they
James T.
shot it
Kirk.
into space for
Well,
10
yeah,
minutes.
William Shatner.
But it actually wasn't like a mold. It was an actual like Star Trek mask of James T. Kirk. They took out the eyes and they just painted it white.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they screwed up the hair.
So.
Yeah.
Well, so that's where they got the idea for Jason X.
Nice.
Because he just came
They
back.
shot him into
because
The
space.
space one.
He just came back from space. He's 90 years old. He deserves to go up there.
Yeah.
Hey, if it
What
was-
else is there to do?
Imagine the Halloween where they go up in space.
Oh yeah.
It will happen.
Halloween.
I
Well,
think-
if they can take the Friday the 13th and the Fast and the Furious franchises into
Oh,
space.
I
They
can't
will-
wait for the rocket ship battle amongst the asteroids.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, Michael Myers is the scariest out of all the
You
slashers.
think he's the scariest?
Oh, absolutely.
Scarier than Leatherface, whom I refuse
way
to watch.
scarier.
Jason
He
has,
can
I
stand
believe,
there in the
breathing,
distance.
so like you
Oh,
can
yeah.
kind of hear something
Yeah.
creepy.
Like he can stand there in the distance and it just looks creepy.
Yeah.
Like the earlier films where you don't see his eyes, it does look scary. You like to
Yeah.
see just darkness in there.
Yeah.
But of course they had to ruin that in later installments when you actually get to see his eyeballs.
Yeah, the mask's definitely varying quality. I'm looking
It's
at you.
kind of a little bit of
Sure.
a more predictable evil than, say, Freddy Krueger, because Freddy Krueger can and has been proven to invade people's dreams.
He's
Yeah.
the most
So
imaginative
it's like you're
one.
not at least with Michael Myers, it's in a physical space where
Also,
you're not going to necessarily be haunted by it that much.
I like how there's always a psychologist that seems to be trailing him and investigating like why he is the way he is because
Dr. Loomis, right?
Dr.
I was trying to
Loomis.
remember his
He
name,
just
yeah.
wants to play a game.
yeah. Oh god, that's a whole other.
I'm just
series
crossing all
itself.
wires tonight.
I still need to see Saw, or
See Saw?
I still need to.
So,
I
do you
cannot
need-
say
do
that
you
I
need-
saw
do
Saw.
Do you need a
Relative
teeter-totter
newcomer
as
to
well?
the franchise. What order should I see these in? Do I go like first three?
Do what I
And then
did.
the new
Josh.
ones, or just like
Do what I did. Watch Halloween 2018, and then, by the way, after Lyle and I watched the Halloween remake, or reboot, sequel, I don't know what the hell it is.
2018 one.
Halloween 2018.
Revival.
I actually thought the subtitle we decided actually is what the movie should have been called. Halloween Legacy. Because it's literally
Three
about
generations of Laurie Strode.
yeah, Halloween Generations or Halloween Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be called that's what,
On that note, I actually would think definitely watch the original.
yeah.
If you want to compare and contrast where where later on where like the character of Laurie Strode has gone to, you can almost watch H2O and then the 2018 movie and just sort of pick your poison. It's kind of one of these situations.
Yeah, they are similar.
They're similar, but like I don't know. There's some things that work in both of them in their own ways. It's kind of weird. Definitely go into Halloween 3 Season of the Witch just completely disconnected. Don't even associate it to the franchise. You might enjoy it as like a good Halloween seasoned film.
It's very Carpenter-y.
Very Carpenter-y.
Despite the
The
fact
score
that
is
he
really
trilogy
good.
As a whole,
I think he did
anything
the
with
score.
John Carpenter's music in it, I will at least appreciate.
Oh, he's
because
a
he
really
does
good
fantastic
composer.
Scoring.
Yes.
He's a really good
I've been
composer.
having a bender of just watching a lot of his movies.
Oh,
I haven't seen
gotta
yet.
You
love-
need to check out his Lost Themes albums as an aside. Those are some great stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The synth wave. Oh, yes.
Yes.
But actually, it's funny. People always say Halloween is the movie that actually like started the trend of slasher films. A precursor to that would be Black Christmas, in 1974, directed by Bob Clark. I
Bob
believe.
Clark, yeah.
Okay.
That's honestly a little nice precursor to Halloween. Like that sort of idea that like there's this voyeurism kind of like stalker presence in this film where you're seeing like the point of view of the killer in that film,
It's set on a holiday.
and it's set on a holiday as well. Yeah. No, that's a great choice.
To think, this, Evan, your movie was almost called The Babysitter Murders. What an inspired title, right?
Yeah, no,
Adventures
that
in
feels like that.
the
no.
babysitter killers, the babysitter killers,
The Babysitter Murders would. That sounds like if it were made in the 1950s, that's what it would have been called.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like that would be the remake of a 1950s
Imagine if
movie.
it was Adventures in Murdering.
Adventures in Murdering.
Babysitter Murdering.
Yeah.
No, it's
Oh,
mine
okay.
too.
We should carry on to the next topic. So next up
Yes.
we have TV specials.
TV specials.
TV specials.
All right. Oh, I go. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm cheating a bit, and I'll keep it brief. You guys remember that show, Disney's House, whatever the fuck it's called, House of Mouse?
Mickey's House of
How
Mouse
could I
Villains.
forget?
It should.
Who's that rocking at the House of Mouse?
It's an excellent little show. It's a nightclub hosted by Mickey, and you get and you want to talk about member berries, and if you're like a hardcore Disney fan, every single Disney character attends at this nightclub, and they all watch old shorts, they all watch new shorts of like Mickey Mouse and the gang. It's a great premise. Disney Plus, get on that shit and release the whole fucking show.
Yeah.
They kind of already have. Do you know that coming soon? I just learned that coming soon, Olaf is gonna reenact like all the classic Disney movies, or he's gonna like retell them in his own.
Frozen 2 didn't even make that much. Compared to
If you like Olaf, it's for you. But
I mean, I guess
yeah.
it's more for like Disney Renaissance fans like us, because I
Yeah.
think it stopped like after mid 2000s or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
But-
no, he's doing stuff like Tangled, which was made in the 2000s.
So
Why
modern
do I
stuff.
feel
He's
this
doing-
is just a short form TikTok compilation?
Yeah.
But the short, it's a direct-to-video movie called Mickey's House of Villains. So
Yes,
it's based.
excellent choice.
So it's based on the show, but throughout the whole show, it's building up that like Jafar and a few other handful of like classic Disney villains are gonna hijack the nightclub and call it the House of Villains. But you get a lot of shorts in here that are all new and old. Like a few favorites of mine would be the one Trick or Treat, and it has that really catchy TikTok song that's trending now. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat on Halloween. It's about Huey, Dewey, and Louie trying to get like a bunch of candy, and Donald Duck is just being an asshole of an uncle that he is and pulling tricks on him. And then there's this witch Hazel that like tries to
Which
forcibly
Hazel is a Warner Brothers character.
forcibly tries to get Donald to give his
Yeah.
nephews
It
candy.
can't be Witch Hazel, Cody. Witch Hazel is a Warner Brothers character.
Well,
no,
she's
no,
a
no.
witch
Hazel's a
who
witch,
happens to
apparently,
be
is.
named Hazel.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Is that the lady from DuckTales?
I believe she is.
Maybe.
Because I know
Yeah.
there was a witch duck in DuckTales because I played the
Oh
video
no,
game.
that's somebody else. That's
Okay.
somebody else. I will look that up.
But,
Okey-doke.
and it's all a bunch of Halloween shorts. Like there was another one. Wasn't so much of a horror one, but it was more like
Magic
a.
Dispel.
What's her name?
Magic Dispel is the witch duck in DuckTales.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
a different duck.
This other short wasn't so much of a horror one, but it had like a spooky premise. It was Mickey's mechanical house, where he buys like a new house, and the whole thing is done like almost like Dr. Seuss style. It's all in rhymes, and it's narrated by John Cleese, and you can tell it's him right away when he starts talking, because who can miss that voice?
Well,
Before that was the problematic times.
Hmm.
The neat thing about Mickey's House of Villains is it does really combine some of the more like older classic shorts from the 30s and 40s
Yeah.
with a lot of the newer shorts at the time, which Disney had put on one Saturday morning as the show Mickey's Mouse Works.
Mickey's Mouse Works. Oh man.
I
That
believe it was,
brings it back.
unless it was Mickey Mouse Works. Point is, that was kind of a neat thing because that was doing the same thing where it was mixing newer animated shorts with the old stuff, and I believe in the older shorts cases, all 3 are on Disney Plus.
Yes. Yeah, Trick or Treat is on Disney Plus.
Lonesome Ghosts definitely is. And it's kind of a neat, like, a what if. It's before Marvel did the whole what if thing, because you have all these different characters interacting with each other, and in a lot of cases, using the original voice actors as well. So you've got, Gilbert Gottfried as Iago. You've got James Woods doing the speaking voice of Hades. You've got a few other, like, non-villain characters that have their original ones.
Oh my god.
What?
Just Gilbert Gottfried and all them coming back. That's great.
Oh no, yeah. There's a lot of. I think James Woods makes like a really quick cameo voice as Hades in it.
Nice.
He's credited in there, anyways.
Yeah.
There's also one called The Dance of Goofies, and it's all instrumental, and it's all set to voices of the spring, voices of Spring Waltz. I think that's how you say it. And it's all. There's also a great one with Mickey and Minnie at the end, and it's reenacting Hansel and Gretel. And it's all instrumental too, and it's set to. God, I'm gonna botch this.
Which one is it?
Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, okay.
It's Danse Mecha.
Danse
Danse Mécanique.
Yes, that one. The whole thing, the animation, the timing, everything is all set to that song, and it's really well animated. It's really well paced out. It's actually
that's an excellent Halloween song.
Yeah, and then by the time the villains actually take over. This direct-to-video movie, like, whatever, they actually have the effort to throw in a song called It's Our House Now. And it's all the Disney villains all singing this song in unison.
Oh, wow.
Led by Jafar.
Man.
And then you get a climb...
I would have just expected them to do Madness is Our House.
Our house. In the middle of Halloween. Oh, man.
You get Mickey.
How have I not seen this?
You get Mickey wearing the blue hat, Fantasia hat, and he's battling Jafar with the staff in 1 second. I mean, that's worth the price of admission.
Oh man,
that's
pretty epic. Is this on Disney Plus?
I wish it was, but
it's not.
It should be. It should be. Yeah.
Like stuff that you think would be on Disney Plus by now, but isn't.
It's like you
have
have
King of the Hill on Disney
and
Plus
then you
already.
have this movie in relatively the same time frame.
Now, is this a movie or a special?
It's more of a special, but it's also but there's also like it's featuring a lot of shorts that are just Halloween themed, which is nice. Yeah, so that's I guess a childhood nostalgic favorite of mine. But hey, you guys like The Room, right?
Yes.
You know Tommy Wiseau. Like you fans of that?
Yes.
I recommend looking up on Vimeo. Maybe I'll send it to you guys later. You guys have to watch the 13-minute short called "The House That Drips Blood on Alex." And you guys be the
funny title.
And you guys be the judge on whether or not this was made to be taken seriously, or if it was accidentally, unintentionally bad, or I don't even know what the fuck. It's just The Room all over again.
I gotta watch this sometime.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's not a shit house.
I'll tell you a truly scary story. It's about a man much like myself.
Oh, Justine.
Oh, a man who is just myself. Oh yeah, Justine is in it as a cameo.
Oh shit. Oh, Justine.
Is that her name?
Well, considering
that's her
this is
username.
from what,
Yeah.
2010?
Yeah.
2010-ish, that makes sense.
It's a guy who buys a house on 3 Blood Street, but it's actually pronounced Blood Street from the landlord.
It's blue.
And Evan, it is what it is. It's just a house that drips a few blood on him, and people are like, "Hey, you have blood in yourself." You're like, "It's not blood. It's just Tommy Wiseau being who he is."
Oh, wow.
It's excellent, and it's a spooky, stupid Halloween thing. It's a guilty pleasure. I love it. I definitely would recommend it.
Just kind of those things you can't explain, like David S. Pumpkins.
It's just amusing. The fucking teaser trailer of it, it's only 25 seconds. It made me die laughing. I'll send it to you.
We should watch it tonight.
Yeah.
When we have time.
So pick your poison if you want something kid-friendly or something stupid and adult-oriented, but it's all fun and games.
Well, those are some nice picks. I haven't seen that one, surprisingly. I'll have to check it out. Alright, so my TV special. I had a hard time with this one.
Me too, actually.
I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. That's just the fact of it. I was having an inner conflict. It's like, does Halloween Town count as a TV special? Because it's a Disney Channel movie.
I haven't seen it, so I can't judge.
Hey, originally airs on TV. It counts.
All right then. It was either that. It was either that or it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. But I don't have too much to say about that one. It's just kind of a.
I got a rock. That's all you have to say.
You killed him. Anyways, so Halloween Town is a nice little decom, which is about a little girl and her siblings going to a fantastical place after she discovers that she comes from a family of witches. And I think there's some evil force that they gotta stop. I don't remember, but I remember watching this.
Calabar is the main villain.
Oh yeah. There was a buttload of sequels to this, I guess. But it was pretty great. I remember watching this when I was in high school. Actually, I was just I was at my grandma's place. I was bored. It's like, I'm getting too old to celebrate Halloween. I'm getting all cynical. It's all bullshit, man.
It's all consumerism. They're all trying to buy us just to buy chocolates.
All right, Brian Griffin.
But then I saw Halloween Town on TV, and I was like, you know what? I feel a little rekindled right now. I feel like I'm in the spirit again. I feel old. But, yeah, and Halloween Town, I actually just found out it was directed by Dwayne Dunham.
And he edited some David Lynch stuff.
Yeah, he edited. He worked a lot on Star Wars. He actually ended up editing Return of the Jedi, and he worked on
Apocalypse Now and that movie about fighting in space that you all love.
Yeah,
Cosmic battles.
Star
intergalactic planetary dispute.
Planetary, intergalactic.
Yeah.
And he was also Raiders of the Lost Ark, Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, and you're right, Josh.
He's done a lot.
He has worked a lot with David Lynch. He edited Blue Velvet, and he even worked on Twin Peaks, which to me is like Cody's Lost. That's a show I will try to bring up as often as I can.
Hey, well, you know what? Lost was inspired by Twin Peaks.
It was.
Oh, he even directed 2 episodes of Seventh Heaven.
Mm-hmm. And he, when Twin Peaks returned, when they did the return, he edited each and every single episode of that.
Nice.
So, but we're gonna.
Speaking of decoms, he did a bunch.
But he's had experience.
Ready to Run, Double Teamed, Right on Track, Tiger Cruise.
Yeah, he doesn't direct too much, but he also directed Homeward Bound, the Lost Journey, or the Journey. That one.
Or Homeward Bound, The Journey Home.
Yes, The Journey Home.
The Incredible Journey. It was a remake of the from the '63, but Lost Dogs.
I like that one.
Yeah. 2 dogs and a cat.
I saw
and
Homeward Bound a long time
ago. Did
ago.
additional editing work for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes, the director has done many things, but one of them was Halloween Town, which is what I'm talking about here.
But that's so weird that he's had all this experience and yet he does a kiddie little Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun.
The Halloween Town series has always been underrated.
Yeah, it has a lot of great practical effects. It captures the feeling. Debbie Reynolds is having a blast. I mean,
absolutely, and it's got a Marnie in it, so I'm biased. I love
it. Yeah. Yeah, the main character is Marnie. The Fly has Veronica, and Halloween Town has Marnie.
I see a pattern growing here.
That's too funny. Yeah, but as far as Kitty, you could also do other things like maybe Ernest Scared Stupid. I remember watching that a lot. But in terms of Kitty, like Halloween movies, I think Halloween Town is just really, really charming.
Yes.
I kind of want to see that Ernest Scared Stupid.
It's pretty good as far as Ernest movie goes.
Every single poster is him making that stupid
inside of a
face.
Pumpkin. Yeah. No, it's fun. It's fun. It's a better Troll movie than Troll 2. But not
any troll movie is better than Troll 2.
But not as good of a troll hunting movie as
They're
Troll
goblins.
Hunter.
They're goblins in Troll 2. They're not even trolls. They say goblins.
Yeah, but not as good of a troll movie as Troll Hunter. I want to see this.
Neilbog, it's goblins spelled backwards.
Oh my god!
What I'm surprised about is just how subtle and grounded the premise of growing up in a family of witches is. For a lot of these decoms, they handle these extraordinary premises pretty well. I mean, there's ones like Up and Away, where this boy finds out, his family are superheroes. And this is about 5 years before Sky High does this premise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
maybe that'll be a topic for another day.
No, it's a neat little movie, Halloween Town. We were gonna watch it tonight, but we're podcasting. But I should revisit it. It's been a little while.
Absolutely, and Debbie Reynolds is consistent throughout the 3 sequels as well.
Oh, good. She came back. Nice.
Yes, they're all on Disney Plus, but I definitely recommend people start with the first one and then maybe go chronologically, because probably around Halloween Town High and Return to Halloween Town. It's the mid 2000s. Maybe it kind of falls a little flatter, but it's still, I think, solid enough to where, like, you can't go wrong with spending an hour and a bit on each of them.
Yeah, it's very cute stuff. I recommend it.
Is it like Hocus Pocus or anything?
It's kind of like that, yeah. It's a little hokey, but... like,
Except without the cult following that gets it a Disney Plus reboot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord. That's a reboot I'm not looking forward to.
Wouldn't be the last. Coming soon from Disney Plus. Fuck.
Hey, all I'm saying is they gotta make the trailer with the clip of the Focused song of the same name with just the random yodeling for no reason.
Just to be fan service. That's all it's about.
Oh, Disney. Anyways, Josh, what's your favorite TV special?
Well, I mean, you did kind of just spoil it, but sometimes you just gotta go with the classics. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yay!
Oh, good. We are covering it.
We have to touch upon this.
This is a classic for a reason. I mean, on top of it's Peanuts, so it's gonna have great music. Vince Guaraldi will always be the man. The Peanuts, between the Charlie Brown Christmas and its soundtrack and just the general Peanuts theme and some of the themes in here.
Linus and
it's
Lucy.
Great.
That's where it's at.
Lucy, unlike a lot of the specials, this one's mainly focused on Linus and his insistent belief in sort of the patron saint of Halloween and the Great Pumpkin, and he gets a lot of crap from all the other kids, except for Sally. She's the only one to believe that the Great Pumpkin exists, and of course, because you have to dress as a ghost so you're not recognized, obviously Linus goes as a ghost for Halloween, and then obviously all the kids are still making fun of him, but then it looks like they actually do find the Great Pumpkin, or it turns out, rather, he mistook Snoopy for the Great Pumpkin. But essentially, Charlie and Linus then basically, he tries to help Linus feel better, but, it looks like, Linus learned his lesson, but it's just a nice, heartfelt Peanut special, and...
yeah, it's adorable.
It's Peanuts. What else can you say? It's timeless.
You got Lucy going as a witch for Halloween because she's a bitch.
Because they rhyme.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this thing was nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah,
that's how good it is.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and people still watch it to this day, and that makes me happy.
That's to remember like the silhouetted Snoopy rising. It's like, there he is! It's the Great Pumpkin!
Yes.
Ah, fuck, Snoopy.
Remember that random bit where, Snoopy's just doing the Red Baron shtick?
Every single short he does the Red Baron
What's kind of
stick.
interesting is that they do try and find a way to just have him be the Red Baron. I'm like, is he supposed to be having war flashbacks? Is there some dark parallel that the Schultz Empire doesn't want us to know about? Should I be concerned? One of the really nice things about this special in particular is just you get to see what the other kids end up going as.
Yeah.
And it is nice to have it be focused mostly on... I mean, Charlie Brown and Linus are kind of like the main along with Lucy, I suppose, the main figures of a lot of Peanut specials. But a lot of times it's mostly on the Charlie, Lucy, will they, won't they, and then Charlie always ends up on his back.
You mean like him trying to kick the football, you mean?
Correct. That sort of metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where's Peter Griffin when you need him? He needs to roadhouse that lady. That was the most satisfying thing I ever saw.
I kind of hope that licensing-wise things don't get tied up too much, because last year Apple TV Plus is now what became the exclusive home of all the specials, and this year PBS is going to be broadcasting this.
Oh, nice.
So if anybody wants to watch this soon when you're listening, October 24th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on your local PBS and PBS Kids station, or at very least PBS.
It doesn't strike me as something that would play on PBS, but that's interesting.
I suppose.
I mean,
it's a partnership
ABC.
between Apple and PBS. That's why.
It always played on ABC, or maybe it's the Christmas special. I'm thinking of.
Originally, it was on CBS in 1966.
Okay.
Okay. Again, I don't watch much TV, so I'll just stream it.
I don't know why this just jumped in my head, but when you said Family Guy and we're talking about Peanuts, I just remember this Family Guy episode where Brian gets a really good job, and then when they find out he's a college dropout, they fire him instantly.
And he climbs on a dog.
And then he walks over to the doghouse, it's playing the piano theme, he just climbs on top of it like Snoopy, and it cuts to the next scene. I'm just like, ha ha ha, reference.
I just adore that.
I started chuckling just because why the fuck not? He looks like Snoopy.
Yeah. I just adore the opening of the special when it's just Lucy and Linus walking to a pumpkin patch, and just walk back, and then make a jack-o'-lantern. And it goes on forever, but I never get tired of it.
It's realistic.
It's just fun.
It's awesome. And that sticks to what Peanuts is. I mean, yeah, Peanuts as a brand has evolved over the decades, but at its core, it's about a group of kids doing stuff together.
Howard Schultz did not like the show.
He didn't?
He did not.
Then Charles Schultz wanted Charlie Brown to get a rock.
Oh wait,
at
is it
one point.
Howard or Charles?
Is that where the
Charles.
I got a rock
Oh, sorry.
came from?
Yeah, from Freddy Got Fingered. I want to be an animator, just like Charles Schultz.
Sorry, Charles Schultz, not Howard Schultz. Who the fuck is Howard Schultz?
I don't know, Cody.
Put the first image of Howard Schultz on the screen, just because why not?
Okay, if he exists.
If this man exists.
Howie Schultz.
It's some random guy's LinkedIn profile.
Facebook.
No, yeah, he did not like the animation.
Really?
Yeah, no, he hated like how like cheap it was. But I'm like, yeah, he doesn't see the charm that we all see. Of the
What does
Peanuts.
he want it to be, like Disney levels of animation?
Maybe, I don't know.
Does he want Charlie Brown to blink or something? Anyways.
You feel a little bad for Linus because I think we can all relate to really wanting something to be true so badly and then being crushed when you find out it's not and things are just ordinary.
It does kind of suck how like everyone just shits on him, and even like Sally's sick of his shit.
It's like Skeeter trying to prove that there's a monster in Lucky Duck Lake.
Flashbacks to Doug's first movie intensifying.
Flashbacks.
Doug's
I
funny
barely remember it. How can I have flashbacks?
to quote my
That's
letterbox
why.
to quote my letterbox review, Doug Funny is a fucking moron.
Yeah, Doug sucks.
Doug
fucking
Funny
sucks.
is unfunny.
Doug is a dud.
Yeah.
Doug's
Anyways.
first movie.
To tie a parallel between another common discussion topic / punching bag, the sort of dark twist on this premise in the one segment on one of the Treehouse of Horrors, it's the Grand Pumpkin Millhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
yes.
that the animation style mirrored this, but of course it is The Simpsons of modern times, so they were going to do what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just kind of like not reach the full comedic potential.
And as an aside, I don't know if they did this in every single Peanut special, but I feel like maybe it's like I'm remembering something that wasn't there. But I feel like there was a sequence where Schroeder was playing the piano and the kids were all dancing to something in this one.
Possibly. I don't recall.
It feels like that's a common trope in Peanut specials.
Yeah.
Maybe I just want to believe they were dancing to some Halloween song. Oh, the kids doing the dances, but it's the spooky, scary skeletons.
I thought you were gonna say Thriller for a second.
No, that was like almost 20 years before this.
I see.
But another annual classic that is very easy to find, and it's one of the essential Charlie Brown specials. That if you're gonna get into Peanuts, start with this. Start with the Charlie Brown Christmas, and maybe a couple of others. But excellent.
He's your dog, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
I watched that one a lot.
I guess we'll talk more about the Christmas special when Christmas
Someday.
happens.
See you in 2 months.
Yeah.
We'll do the exact same format.
Well, mark your calendars.
All right, Evan, what's your favorite TV special?
So, for me, my favorite TV special of all time related to Halloween is one we actually talked about last year, Treehouse of Horror 5. Not going to kick a dead horse, so I'm going to talk about something new this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've covered it already.
Once or twice or 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. Oh, God. So, to avoid a Simpsons Halloween tangent, what I'm going to do is talk about another Halloween special, which technically never aired on TV, but was a segment in a direct-to-video movie. It's kind of similar to what Cody was talking about with A House of Mouse. My pick is a Recess Halloween, and this
this is a nice deep cut.
This particular special was featured on the last feature-length film that okay, remember how on our '90s classic 90s cartoons, we talked about how Recess School's Out should have been the end of the show.
Yeah.
It wasn't. There were 2 more direct-to-video features released after School's Out. There was 3. There was Recess Christmas, Miracle on 3rd Street.
That's the one I had.
There was Recess All Grow Down, where they showed what the kids were like in kindergarten. And the last one, which is where this show technically ended, was Recess taking the 5th grade. But the special that closes out this feature, A Recess Halloween, is actually very heartfelt. Here's the plot. The kids are all excited to celebrate Halloween with each other, except there's a party pooper in their midst with Spinelli. Spinelli in 5th grade, Spinelli has no intention of celebrating Halloween for reasons that don't become known until the story progresses. She spills the beans that she and her parents went pumpkin picking at the local patch, and she got made fun of and harassed by Lawson. The jerk ass bully character. Yeah. Lawson basically said,
wah, oink, oink, wah, oink,
yeah.
oink.
So Lawson tells Spinelli that Halloween is for babies, and I guess Lawson would be in the 5th grade. So, but I say Lawson is completely full of shit, and the episode will go on to say, the special goes on to say why he's full of shit, because Spinelli actually sticks with the whole I'm not celebrating Halloween because I'm too outgrown for this. I'm too old for this shit now. But she stumbles across Mrs. Finster, who she's bonded with before. Weekend at Muriel's, one of my all-time favorite episodes of this. One of my all-time favorite episodes of that show.
Oh yeah.
But when she sees that Miss Finster is celebrating Halloween in costume with all of her friends who are in their late 50s, early 60s, it proves to Spinelli that Halloween is for everyone. It's not just a kiddie holiday where the kids dress up, the adults dress up too. Mm. Now, I feel like it's a great message to teach kids, but throughout my life, no one has ever really bullied anyone on the issue of kids being too old to celebrate Halloween. There is a topic of discussion that suggests that kids are too old to trick or treat. Once you reach a certain age, I think it's once you reach 14 or 15, then it becomes a little weird.
Yeah.
But because no 20-year-olds are gonna go around trick or treating. However, I like the show's message. I like how it's a grown-up who shows the kids the way once again, thus tightening the bond between the teachers and the kids. That was a stab that should have been consistent from Recess School's Out, which took place the summer before the Halloween special. Can you imagine? They saved the world the previous summer, and then they go have a Halloween adventure together.
Oh, the stakes are high now.
Doesn't quite compare.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite compare.
Yeah, so I've only seen this special once, but it has stuck with me throughout the years, and if it is, is taking the 5th grade.
They are Recess, the show, School's Out, and both direct-to-video films are on Disney Plus, and A Recess Halloween is the last segment in it, so yes, it is streamable.
Great.
Wasn't there, I don't know if this is what you were talking about, but is there a Recess episode where they go into the basement of the school?
Yes, that was the first Halloween special. What I just talked about is the second and final Halloween
That's
special.
What I remember. I remember it was some mystery.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. Yeah, I'm very vague on the
Did it have
details.
Butch in there at all? I feel like it had Butch in there.
Yeah. So anyways, that's nice and short. It just stuck with me, and it always reminded me that Halloween. It kind of harkens to what we're going to talk about at the end.
Yeah, I was about to say that would have been a great segue.
It's sort of like the precursor to going from trick or treating to Halloween parties. That's really just the natural evolution.
Oh,
I got a segue. Evan, Veronica, and I went to a Halloween party dressed as characters from Recess.
Yeah, no, that's
awesome.
The three of us. We did a group. The first time in my life I ever did a group costume was with you two. I was King Bob, and you were TJ, and she was Spinelli.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yes, very good. Sticking to the show's canon.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
We tried to. We actually at the time. We had another friend who was going to be Principal Prickly, but he got sick at the last minute and couldn't come out. So, but our trio was pretty good. In fact, we wound up at this nightclub over on King Street in Toronto, and I remember seeing this guy dressed up as Black Panther because Black Panther was all the rage that year, and it's like, oh yeah, yay, King of the Playground, hey, King of Wakanda. Yeah, no, it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's a perfect segue to our favorite costumes that we've worn.
Oh,
years
right.
for Halloween.
Yes.
Ooh, all right.
And if any of you have any pictures, I will display them in all their
Yeah.
glory.
Oh, I do have it. Yes.
You won't see any of mine because I didn't have enough time to find any. Sorry, audience.
Then we shall use our freaking imagination.
Use a star.
Hey, you guys are artists. Draw something. Draw Josh's Halloween.
Cut out Josh's face and put over some stock photo.
Yes, I will do that.
Do it.
Don't
Do it.
Future Lyle, don't do that.
Okay, I'll just draw you on a napkin.
Aw.
Is that how all movies get made? Faces just get drawn on napkins?
Hey, Pixar called. They want their inspiration back.
Well, I did go throughout my whole life. I went as Batman. I went as Darth Mole. I went as Neo, SpongeBob, Scream, or Ghostface, however you want to say it.
Wait, when you say you went as SpongeBob, did you actually dress up in the full-on SpongeBob?
No, I did something kind of different. I wore just a blue shirt, or sorry, not blue shirt. I wore a white shirt with a red tie and just brown pants with a black belt.
But they weren't square.
But my face and hair were all yellow. I spray painted or spray dyed whatever.
Wait,
it's called,
Cody,
the hair.
You went yellow face? That is not okay.
Oh my god.
Cancel Cody. Fuck.
Oh my god, that's not okay. You are Cody. You are appropriating the culture of sea sponges.
And that's when the soda bubble bursts.
Your SpongeBob's culture is not a costume.
Thank you very much.
What? So what, Josh? What?
I'm saying that I'm now taking over as the host of Puff. Hereby rename it to Tier Talk, where we'll only be two.
Oh no, he's only gonna talk about pop music.
Talk about.
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
All
Cancel
music.
me. It had to happen someday. Fuck it. No. Out of all the pop culture characters that I went as, my absolute favorite was the Riddler from Batman Forever.
Oh my god.
Because I went as like I said before, Jim Carrey phase. He's an absolute idol of mine. Now we didn't just go.
Oh, you look perfect.
Now
Oh my god.
we didn't just go to a Halloween store and just found a complete replica of the suit that Jim Carrey wore in the film. My mom and I did something really creative, and I think it just kind of brings me back to doing it was the process leading up towards going as the Riddler, because we went up to some thrift shop and found a gray jogging pants and matching gray shirt, and we took some dye and we threw it in the laundry, and we didn't quite get it the exact green color tint from the film, but it was still fine. It was just kind of normal green,
Nice.
kind of grass green.
Cool.
And I don't know if she got a photo of Jim Carrey from the movie, or maybe she looked on the poster that just had just the question mark of Jim Carrey's or Edward Nygma's question mark kind of logo. But she did so many stencils of it, big question marks, small question marks,
Oh, nice.
and literally drew highlights all around the costume and did it our own way. And then she took permanent marker and went all over it trying to fill out all the question marks.
Yeah.
And then I think I just dyed or hair sprayed my hair orange.
Yeah.
And then we drew just the green glasses, however he had it. We didn't
it
wear
does look
glasses.
drawn on.
It's drawn on, yeah. And then we just found a Grim Reaper cane.
Yeah.
And we took off the tip, and then all we did was just color with paint a bunch of question marks on the staff, because he has a staff in the film that has a bunch of question marks on it. So we did it. I think it was just the idea of us doing it just homemade kind of brings me back to that. And it was such a killer costume. And I went out for Halloween, and I just remember getting a lot of nice Riddler,
Oh, that's great. It's always the best part when people identify you.
Well, it just kind of brings me back to us doing it kind of homemade and guerrilla style, if you want to say.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And it was definitely one of the best, and definitely a photo I definitely whipped up in like 2 seconds because I shared it a few times.
My question is, will you ever dye your hair again?
That way, for sure.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing when you have your blue hair, when you start, doing stuff.
My blue hair.
Maybe that's a new sub-challenge. When we reach a certain number of subscribers on YouTube, we'll draw a bunch of colors from a hat, and whichever one we pick, Cody will dye his hair that way for one whole episode.
I gotta say, don't dye my hair. It would look so sad. But yes, Cody, you must do that.
I think I used temporary dye once to help out my friend Kathy when she was in school.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like temporary, like just it was more brown. I have dirty blonde hair. It was like,
Well, just for the sake of solidarity? Or?
No, she had to test it on somebody, so I was like, okay, as long as it's temporary dye, I'm like, go for it, and nobody noticed.
Oh.
Eventually, just washed
note,
out.
I'm surprised that you didn't use green hair to match the aesthetic of the Riddler.
Well, Jim Carrey's was like bright orange.
Yeah, it was orange. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that explains how little
Batman
I've seen
Forever.
Batman Forever. Then, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Batman Forever, Jim Carrey was so. What's his obsession with green? There's like the Mask, the Grinch, the Riddler.
Maybe it was just
I see something
the
here.
whole Nickelodeon slime thing was all the rage in the mid-late 90s.
Yes,
That's
it's all
probably it.
psychological. Yes, all subliminal. Oh my god.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, that's definitely a winner of mine.
Yeah, nice. Well, geez, costumes throughout the ages for me. I remember my very first costume was this. It was Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Phantom Menace.
Nice.
But it was like I think that's the first costume I can remember, and it was like kind of like I kind of had like a Michael Myers like full-on plastic mask of Ewan McGregor.
I remember that exact Obi-Wan plastic.
Yeah,
mask.
because when I was a kid, I had ear surgery, and the toy my mom gave me was an Obi-Wan Kenobi like action figure that flipped around a lot, and I wanted to dress up like him because he was my favorite character in that movie. So yeah.
Did it have like the clip-on hair?
Yeah, it had like a plastic hair piece to it as well.
Yeah.
And then another costume I really... Oh yeah, my lightsaber did not look like a lightsaber. It was like a dollar store. I just posted in the group. It's like a dollar store lightsaber that was like kind of looked more like Darth Maul's lightsaber because it was double-sided.
Hey now, all you would have had to do is somehow cut that in half, like glue it shut, and then combine them together, and you could have been Kylo Ren before Kylo Ren.
Hey,
Lyle
Ren.
See, think about it. Then
Lyle Ren.
Lyle Ren. And then another memorable costume I remember, I was obsessed with Frankenstein. So I was just dressed, I had like this like nice onesie and the green jacket and like this awesome mask that smelled like fucking clay. You know how like Halloween masks smell? They smell like cheap plastic.
I had a mask for Halloween. I made it out of clay.
Yeah.
And when it started ready, oh my god, what's wrong with my face?
Yeah, so like that was I really loved being Frankenstein for a few years. And
Did
then,
anyone try and feed you?
No, they did not feed my Frankenstein.
Oh, that's funny too. Only me.
Yes,
Feed
only
my Frankenstein.
any Wayne's World fan should get that reference. And then I think one of my favorite costumes where I actually put a ton of effort into it was my Chucky Finster outfit.
Oh.
Where
I've seen this photo of yours. Yeah.
Yeah, where I had like a clown wig and I drew freckles on my face and I ordered the planet shirt that I always had. I could not find green shorts, so I just got some green pajamas and I folded them up.
This feels like if Devo were going to dress up for Halloween, which I'm going to... Side note for the TV special stuff, I forgot to mention Mark Mothersbaugh does the music for Halloween Town, at least the first one.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he also does the music for Rugrats. Yeah, no, I like this costume. I remember I went to a costume party with Evan. Evan, I believe you were Han Solo.
Yes.
And our friend, the guy who was going to be Prickly, he was the Joker.
No, he would be Prickly next year. That year he wanted to go. He was adamant in going as Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Nicholson's Joker, yeah. And there was a costume contest, and like basically the way it worked was whoever got the loudest clap won. And I think I was like 4th place, and you were 3rd place.
I think I placed 3rd or 2nd, but the guy who won was actually a guy who did a damn good job of replicating
or
Winter Soldier.
I thought Robin won.
It was either Sexy Robin or the Winter Soldier.
No, Sexy Robin beat Winter Soldier. I think they were friends with the guys.
Yeah, no.
I think the
and then our
streams are crossing each other.
And then our friend
it was a shit show.
Our friend was not happy at the friend nepotism going on.
I mean,
there.
it was like whatever. It was
Boy,
just
this
some
Infinite
dumb
Crisis movie really is bad.
And like, I don't know, it was funny. Some guy after like I was outed out of the costume, he's like, "Good job picking an obscure character, though." I'm like, obscure?
Obscure.
Chucky is obscure? No.
No.
And
It
then
was before the Rugrats reboot.
But before then, there was this girl dressed like Wednesday Addams. She came out to me and it's like, "Oh, who are you supposed to be?" I'm like, I'm Chucky from Rugrats. You know, that 90s show that was like the biggest fucking thing on Nickelodeon. You've never heard of it? How old are you? It's like, oh, I don't know that. It's like, well, in any case, I love your Wednesday Addams outfit. It's like, who's Wednesday Addams? Like, you, what? You don't know who you're dressed as?
Oh my god.
I guess you thought she was just a goth. I don't know.
I remember the Halloween of 2009 in high school, everybody can go to school in costume. So I actually went as Heath Ledger's Joker. And
cool.
I think I have a photo of that somewhere. Maybe I'll show it to you guys some other time. But I remember someone came up to me and went, you're a year late on that, buddy.
Oh,
I'll never forget that. It was some asshole. I've never met him before. It was some guy in the hallways. It was
what
like
year?
it was a year after The Dark Knight.
Oh, for fuck
yeah,
off.
you're a little late on that. A year later, I'm like, oh, sorry.
Fuck off.
I'm not up with the trends.
Yeah. I think my all-time favorite costume is the one I've been doing for the last 3 years. I really like dressing up as Donnie Darko from that movie I mentioned.
Yeah.
And I like.
You need to give him like alternate reality versions, like Donnie Darko, but this Donnie Darko when such and such.
I remember the year I wanted to do it was the same year. I had to work that night, so I just wore the costume. It's just simple costume. It's just like a gray hoodie with the skeleton suit underneath, and I drew out like the 28 days, just like the markings that he had on his arm to remind him when he had to save the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, but not too many people got the costume, but those who did were like, dude, that's so cool. I think maybe people would have got it if Evan here dressed like Frank the Bunny, but that's okay.
Yeah.
For this year, since it's the 20th anniversary, I'm gonna have to. It will be my last hurrah in the Donnie Darko outfit. I don't have any plans, but I'm still gonna wear the costume anyways. And those are my favorite Halloween costumes from memory.
Man, here I am thinking Donnie Darko literally created the Black Parade.
he is a moody boy for sure.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. Maybe if future Lyle, if I'm able to send him a picture, I can grab him a photo album of one of my Halloween costumes, because I know I have several.
You got time.
I know one of my earliest was probably when I looked in photo albums, I must have been 2 or 3. It was probably like a clown of some sorts. There was the wig, the red nose, the makeup and stuff, I think. And I definitely remember when I was probably anywhere between the ages of 8 to 10, at one of those Halloweens, I definitely went as a vampire, because that was pretty easy. I've never been a huge fan of having makeup on. I guess just because it's a pain to get it all off, and it's a lot of effort, but it takes just as long to get off. It looks nice, but maybe it wasn't for me. Oh, actually, I remember a Halloween memory from school. I think it's in a yearbook where I think Evan went as the Cowardly Lion, and I was some person. I don't remember what I was that year.
Wait. I have never once gone as the Cowardly Lion.
No, sorry, I'm misremembering. Somebody else was, but it was definitely.
Oh, I remember.
That was around Halloween.
Okay. That was. I remember when it was. It was Halloween 1999. You were Captain Picard, and
Thank you. I knew there was a Star Trek costume in there somewhere, because I think it was my parents or my aunt and uncle that had Star Trek stuff.
The only photograph that is in my possession to prove this is in a black and white yearbook. I have no clue how clear it'll turn out, but yeah, I was Link that year from Zelda.
Yes. Okay.
And
you were Picard. Being Captain Picard in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
There were some later years where I pretended I was a quote-unquote musician. This was, I think I remember after I'd gotten my, when I went to see Rush about 10 years ago, and I had a tour shirt from that, so I basically wore it with, like, my hat, and I had drumsticks, and I would pretend I was a drummer, because it was cheap enough, and I didn't have to put any makeup on. But I think, and I think I also was Spider-Man at one point. It must have been after the Raimi movies came out. because I definitely remember it must have been 4th or 5th grade, with the mask on, not
You
the mask,
were-
like the pullover thing.
You were Matt Sundin, the old Toronto Maple
Oh,
Leafs
yeah.
player.
Oh,
because, you
nice.
know,
Sundin?
You're
Cool.
inspiring heartbreak in every young sports fan when you go as a hockey player.
Yeah.
Who went as Ty Domi?
Probably.
Oh, no.
No, like kids were passing you in the hallway, and they were saying, "Yeah, because Matt Sundin was all the rage back then."
Yeah, that was before. Well, that was still while the Leafs were a big legacy of failure, but that was when they had some sliver of hope until they didn't, and then they did again. I don't know if I blocked out a lot of the school Halloween stuff or I just forgot, but I definitely know once I got to high school, I kind of stopped with most of that. But I remember from when I was like probably 8 or 9, and probably for a few Halloweens after. And this is pretty common for a lot of boys growing up. Maybe not so much now as it's a little less popular, but in the mid-late 90s, it was all about Power Rangers, and every boy wanted to be the Red Ranger.
Yeah.
Unless you like Mighty Morphin, then you wanted to be green or white. But I distinctly remember when Lightspeed Rescue was on, so this would have been about 2000. I think the fall of that year when it was almost over, I went as the Red Lightspeed Rescue Ranger because that was the most recent show at the time. It had the symbol, which is sort of like, it looks like a police shield, but it like the badge, but it's not. It had these like slotted things, I guess, so it could kind of be visible, almost like those sunglasses that would become popular near the end of that decade. And it was kind of cool. It's like, again, it's letting kids live out that fantasy of being a superhero before the MCU overexposed that. But
Yeah.
it was kind of fun, and I think it was one of the ones I can at least say I remember pretty well. I'm sure I'll find some other ones, but I don't know. After a certain point, it kind of became for me more about looking like I appreciate the effort other people put into their costumes. I'm just very low maintenance that way.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Evan knows this is kind of, I mean, he's going to be next, but do you remember any other, like, school-related ones at any point that I did? Maybe you'll refresh my memory.
All I can remember at this current moment is Picard. I think I remember Dracula, Picard, Matt Sundin, and the musician with the Rush shirt.
All right, well, there's a good amount to choose from. I'll probably be able to, maybe I'll give future everybody some pictures of stuff when I can find, because I'm going to be at my house this weekend, so maybe I'll have a bit of time to go through the albums and find something.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Fuck.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, I remember I went as Chip Hazard. Any Small Soldiers fans here?
I remember, yeah.
Small Soldiers?
Small Soldiers?
Now?
Yeah, you're...
The leader of the Commando Elite,
Yeah.
voiced by Tommy Lee Jones. I had a mask and the outfit.
Small
Oh, wow.
Soldiers. If Toy Story was
Oh,
directed by Sid
yes!
Phillips.
I can't wait for
Yes,
Peacock to remake that for their streaming service,
Oh,
because
no.
DreamWorks is owned by somebody.
Oh
All right,
Look,
Evan.
it's an animated reboot done by Illumination or DreamWorks.
no. The 2010s was all about bring back the 80s, and now we've entered the 2010s. And
Oh boy, I can't wait. Only 9 more years till we get our early 2000s remakes.
the 2020s is all going to be about bring back the 90s.
Yeah.
It's
Like
already
that.
starting to happen.
Like that 90s show.
Well, there you go.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did do it. They're doing
But-
that.
Yes.
I
I
think
heard.
Power Rangers is one of those brands that it's been through a lot over, well, next 2023 is its 30th anniversary, but between various ownership groups, whether it's Saban the first time, and then Disney, and then Saban again, kind of, but not really, and now Hasbro, it still appeals to that young boy's fantasy of having superpower, or being a superhero and protecting the world from monsters, and then giant robot fights. Because
That's true.
even if it wasn't dressing up as a Power Ranger for Halloween, there were a lot of recesses where we would basically be acting out episodes we had just seen the previous day.
Yes.
And that was back when it aired 5 days a week, and you didn't necessarily know how to record stuff on VCR, or at least I didn't, per se.
Yeah.
So it was, you had to see it live.
In our immediate circle of friends, we only had there was that one friend who knew how to tape everything, and we weren't it.
That would have been me.
Yeah. Cody, where the hell were you when we were in elementary school?
I was like pro at that.
Yeah.
Literally.
All right, Evan. So
I can put a VHS back together.
Okay.
I mean, I know Evan has one particular Halloween costume
Yeah,
that I
what are some of
remember
your-
very well.
What are some of your costumes?
Some of my costumes. Well, I seem to the reoccurring theme with me is because I'm a movie fan. Movies have appealed to me my whole life. Every Halloween, I go as a character from a movie that has stood out to me. The first time I ever dressed up ever in my life was at the age of 6, where I went as Peter Pan.
Nice.
And then a couple of years later...
How tight were those tights?
Oh, God.
No, not going there.
Yeah, no.
Evan Mead's camel toe.
Oh. Whoa! That's some...
Oh my God.
I could probably sue this whole corporation for sexual harassment.
Okay, just go to the bosses. They're
so-
right here. Me and Lyle.
You're
Hey,
the-
what do you
you're the
like?
boss. Are you gonna sue yourself?
Case closed!
Okay, so you're Peter Pan once. That's great.
Uh,
I guess we all were. Once in a while.
okay, so I was Peter. I don't recall where. In all honesty, to answer your question, I don't recall wearing tights for Peter Pan, but tights will come up later on, and I'll tell you what.
Okay.
So, my favorite reoccurring costume in elementary school would have had to have been Darth Vader because you can guess why I went with him like this.
Because you like Star Trek?
Yes. Yeah, no, because Josh's, costume as Picard inspired me so much that I had to get Darth fucking Vader.
And
Oh
can you
my God.
imagine us as little kids? I'm young Obi-Wan Kenobi and you're Darth Vader. You're
I've been
meant to,
waiting
but I'm
for
too
you.
young.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. You did good.
The ultimate showdown.
Yeah. Oh, I want like an alternate reality. Like, what if Evan, Lyle, Cody, and Josh all knew each other when they were
And they
kids?
fought each other with plastic toys.
Hey, that's a danger. If we mix multiverses like that, that's dangerous because what
We
if?
have to have a Star Wars.
What if our childhood?
See how
What if
that
our
goes?
child?
Then we can
What if the
do
child?
that.
What if our childhood versions of us didn't get along?
Yeah.
Quick, invest in Microsoft before it's too late.
I believe that everyone comes into everyone's life at a certain time for a certain reason. So yeah.
So that's why we don't have multiverses.
Yeah. So we're getting off topic.
So
So
doing that, we'd
I
basically
liked-
just be fan remaking Safety Not Guaranteed.
yeah,
There we
pretty
go.
much. I like so I went as Darth Vader. I did go as Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yes.
That was the year that Return of the King was coming. The Two Towers was
That sounds like 5th grade to me.
6th
Or
grade
fourth,
actually.
fifth, sixth grade.
6th.
It's a year that we were kids, and then there was a movie out, and I didn't
Pretty much,
see
yeah.
any of them.
And then in high school, the laziest costume I ever did was I literally bought a Homer Simpson mask and wore it on my head for most of the day. And I had to stop because
Did you quote The Simpsons like all fucking day?
no, Josh, that
No,
was Josh.
yeah,
Actually, that was Josh's job.
It's always
Hey, no,
Josh's
neither of us
job.
have reached our final forms yet.
Yeah, yeah. So and then my favorite costume from my high school years was Heath Ledger's Joker, and
yes.
Oh, you
No,
won as well.
no, because I didn't. What I did was because my mom was always encouraging me to not just go out and buy a costume from like Party City or whatever.
Yeah.
She was always encouraging me to come up throw some things together around the house.
That's
so,
what I did with mine.
Oh, with Heath Ledger's
Yeah,
Joker,
with Heath Ledger's Joker.
she had a purple jacket and a shirt that looked almost identical to what he wore. in
I
the-
found at a
Oh,
thrift shop like an
shit.
actual purple gown. Like it went all the way down to my ankles.
Oh,
actually.
so the suit was cheap. You ought to know. You bought it.
Evan, I remember that's not the only Joker you dressed up as.
We'll get to him.
Okay.
The year the Dark Knight came out, actually my mom did a damn good job with the Joker makeup, and that year was also the last year. I was 16 at the time. I'll go full disclosure. That was the last year my friends and I went trick or treating. My friend Steven at the time came over, and so did my friend Daniel, and we essentially started by playing video games. Our Halloween night in 2008 was pretty much we played video games, and then we decided, you know what? Evan's got the Joker makeup. Let's go scare people, because it was Steven's idea. Let's go scare people, specifically kids. And I was hesitant to scare kids, but
Yeah.
but what essentially happened was like we literally walked around the neighborhood, and some of the local like residents on my street, they were a little cool with us trick-or-treating. A couple of elderly like residents were like, "Aren't you a little old for this?" And then we were like, "Nah."
That's so funny because the last time I did trick-or-treating was something similar. I was hanging out with my buddies, and we literally just threw on like Ghostface or just some werewolf generic mask and just threw on our sweaters with the hoods. And we just went out. We're like, we're hanging out tonight on Halloween, and we want to binge both Evil Dead movies. Why don't we go get some candy? So we literally just went around the block pretending to be kids, be like, Jackie Cheese. We came home with like just like pillowcases of candy.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
And we binged both of the Evil Dead movies.
My last Halloween, I was dressed as a watermelon. Like I made a mask in class. They were like, you have to make a face mask that serves an emotion. Yeah. I think it was grade 6, and I just like, I want to make a watermelon mask.
Why do I feel like a rejected character from a regular show?
Watermelon man, and it was so Michael Myers-ishy because I had like a green sweater and green track pants.
Tonight you get killed by a guy wearing a watermelon.
And everyone's like, who are you supposed to be? And I'm just like, I'm a watermelon. Sorry, Evan.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, so that night, my friends, we came over. We played video. They came over. We played video games. It was my friend's idea to go like scare people with my Joker makeup. It was at my buddy Steven, at the time he actually talked us in, because I used to live right around the corner from a police station. He actually talked us into like going trick-or-treating to the police station in my Joker makeup, and I was super awkward being there because everyone had seen and their mother had seen The Dark Knight that summer. What happened when the Joker wound up in a police station? It didn't go so well. So the officer who was working the desk that night, like we had a nice little chat. They gave us the usual like be safe now talk, and we were just on our way. They gave us candy, and they said, "Oh, good job on the costume."
That's awesome.
So
nice.
we got along with the local police, and then we went back to my house and watched Iron Man, and that was the last.
Iron Man on Halloween.
That was the last time I remember going out trick or treat.
That was his last trick or treat.
So
his first
so before I get into my most memorable, I would like to address something. Yes, I did the year that Suicide Squad came out. I did go as Jared Leto's Joker, and that was the year that
poor bastard.
Yeah, I felt like it was white noise because that fucking Halloween, everyone was Jared Leto's Joker. It was the most.
Jared
Leto's Joker and Harley Quinn were the most popular Halloween costumes that year. And every fucking time I see couples going at that, I'm like, it's not a good relationship. Like it's grounded in psychological.
No, they have it all wrong. They need to go as the Batman the Animated Series.
You know
Joker
what?
And Harley
Yes. That's not much better in terms of
but at least you have Mark Hamill representing.
Okay.
And
I almost felt, even though
it's a nice subversion. I like that.
Arlene Sorkin.
I would have been a hypocrite if I had said this at the time, but in hindsight, I now look back on that Halloween where I went as Jared Leto's Joker, and I was like, do you ever? For those of you who have not seen 13 Reasons Why, there is an episode in the first season where it's Halloween and the main character Clay sees two of his somewhat friends or kids he doesn't get along with. He sees this one couple that's kind of on edge with him. They're dressed as Sid and Nancy, and then he's like, "Oh, Sid and Nancy, you know what happens to them, right?" And then the guy dressed as Sid is like, "What happens to Sid and Nancy?" Lyle actually liked that. That was the one part of 13 Reasons Why.
That was my favorite part of 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
But it wasn't all bad, Evan, because I dressed as the angry video game nerd that year, and we made a lot of funny TikTok-esque videos.
We went to we hung out at your apartment and we just chilled and watched horror movies.
Dub Smash.
It was
Remember
fun. That? Yeah, no.
Dub Smash.
It was fun, and then the two Halloween costumes that I am not proud of are as follows. Charlie Sheen, because
because winning.
Pretty much. Yeah. No,
Tiger Blood.
Do you remember
Try and memory hole us back to 2011.
the two Halloween. No, it was 2011. I was in my douchebag phase. It was like,
oh, winning was a fucking catchphrase. I loved it.
It was now that I look back on it, it's like we are celebrating.
Can we bring back winning? Why not?
Yeah, winning.
Winning.
Yeah, but anyway,
You just have to get a lottery ticket.
Yeah, no, I went as Charlie. I went as Charlie Sheen, and the other Halloween costume that I am not proud of was Michael Jackson, 2009. And the reasons why I'm not proud are reasons I do not care to foreclose to the public. So
Evan, so you were Peter Pan and Michael Jackson.
yeah.
Did you ever go to Neverland?
Did
Did you ever find Neverland?
Evan, it's your book. You're allowed to take out a chapter.
Yeah, no. All I'm gonna say is I went as Michael Jackson the year to pay homage to him when he was
the glove and everything.
Yeah, no.
Wait.
Oh, okay. We got to change this topic in the other direction.
Wait.
Well,
I feel there's a certain character that you've went as that you're forgetting.
Ah, yes. Thank you for jogging my memory. In 2012, the year after the Avengers came out, I thought I want to go as an Avenger, but then I thought, what if Captain America, but Canada? And then so here's the thing. I go out to Party City, they sold a Canadian a morph suit with the Canadian flag insignia on. I'm like, this is perfect. So I cut a hole. I cut eye holes in the morph suit. I buy a Captain America shield and I went to Canadian Tire and dropped like $50 on automobile paint to spray this fucker into Canadian colors. And my mom takes this photo at the front door of our house at the time, and then that photo actually blew up on Reddit for a week. And
nice.
my buddy who was at Niagara College was telling me, Evan, like, do you understand that this photo is on Reddit and it keeps getting hits? And I am not. And by the way, many years later, my buddy was online gaming with someone in Texas, and the photo he used in his avatar was the photo that went on. So
you were viral.
A guy from Texas used my photo as his avatar.
That's crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Some video gamer from Texas.
Viral.
More like Evan meme.
Oh no. No.
No, you were on a meme.
I was on a meme.
Like, you're
But
Canadian.
here's the thing.
One.
Imagine if you waited until this year and then you did a TikTok adventures of it.
I mean, I could
Bring him back.
I did bring him back. Okay, by popular demand, I did bring him back several times. I modified every time I brought him back. I modified the costume because one time the 1 year I gave Captain Canada white gloves instead of red gloves. Next 1 year I bought a actual like mask, like a super mask to make him look like he had a helmet, like what Captain America has. And I also have a black version of I bought a black morph suit and I called it Black Ops Mode, where I stitched a maple leaf to the black morph suit, and I had the shield where I was kind of inspired by the Winter Captain America, the Steve Rogers look in Winter Soldier at the time.
All right.
So that's probably my most famous Halloween costume.
Bring him back.
Bring him back.
He can do this all day, or in this case, all winter.
By the way, I did bring him. I brought him back in the Halloween of 2020, where I gave him a tummy and I didn't shave. And I was like, he's stuck on the couch playing video games because he has to quarantine. He can't go out and fight crime because of a fucking virus.
So he's kind of like Thor, almost.
Almost like Endgame Thor.
Oh my god.
But I feel like I should have gone like, even fatter to prove the point. But I gave him like somewhat of a tummy and I just didn't shave. So I was like, he's stuck in quarantine.
Well, you know what does give you a tummy?
What?
Candy.
That's right. And with that, we're going to segue.
Yeah. So when you were trick-or-treating as a kid, what's one candy or one treat that you always look forward to getting every year?
Snack size Snickers, baby. Oh my god.
Those are good.
I can eat tons of those.
Guaranteed to satisfy.
That's why I'm a diabetic today. Thanks, Snickers.
They're snickering at you.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's chocolate, but for candy, I would say maybe fuzzy peaches, the snack size.
Those are my favorite too. Yeah.
Or Swedish berries, that kind of Maynard like.
Now,
candy. I didn't like the Swedish fish.
Question.
I didn't like those.
Swedish berries?
No. What are they called? The fish ones?
The blue.
Yeah.
The
sour
wine
keys? No.
Oh, I love sour keys, but the fish one. I forget what they're called, but And then when it came to chips, just Doritos. I know that's very generic, but like
I don't
want to say I hate Lay's.
It's better than Lay's.
I hate Cheetos.
We might have a problem.
I'm sorry.
I enjoy Lay's. I mean, I enjoy no-name chips too.
I'll
enjoy any potato chip.
I like Lay's.
That is not vinegar.
No, I'm Tortilla. Tortilla. Tortilla and corn chips all the way.
Yeah, no, I
Fritos.
I hate Doritos, but I love Tostitos.
I have actually warmed up slightly to Doritos, but mainly just the nacho cheese ones. Because I've had them a little bit the last couple of years. They're not bad.
Since I've been
but
developing
nothing's touching Cheetos.
Since I've been developing a bit of a tolerance lately, I've actually tried jalapeno and cheddar Doritos.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, here's another question. Have you tried the roulette bag?
I have once. I do like sweet chili
Never
heat.
again?
No, it's not too bad. I didn't like the
Okay.
buffalo. I didn't like the buffalo flavored. I like Cool Ranch, but they don't make the fun pack or the snack pack of
all
like,
I'm gonna
Cool
say,
Ranch and all that.
All I'm gonna say, the only thing I liked about the Doritos sweet chili heat were the commercials. There are 3 sides to Doritos sweet chili heat. Which will you play with? Those commercials were awesome.
Yeah, Doritos are pretty
The
kick-ass.
4th side, obviously.
I will say the strangest thing I got in my Halloween bag afterwards, when you go home and you dump it out and you start inspecting and you're like, ooh, you start dividing stuff and all that. The strangest one I ever got, and it's not even a big thing, but I just felt like, this is odd, was, remember like the Ritz crackers in the little container, and then there was a separate container that had cheese or peanut butter?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I mean, it's unorthodox, but it's still a snack.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
It's
like
healthy.
It's like a grade 1 school snack.
Well,
I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Marginally healthy.
I mean, hey, if you were a kid and you had a Lunchables in your Halloween candy, I
Oh,
don't think
that'd
it
be
would
great.
that bad.
Exactly.
The pizza Lunchables? Oh, yeah.
Those were the bomb.com.
Like the snack size bags of Lay's and stuff like that. I don't know if Cheetos Puffs in general are my favorite. I don't think they make the spirals anymore, but when they used to have the spiral ones, those were great. I mostly am a sucker for any of like the mini boxes of stuff like Smarties and Kit Kat and Aero and
the
Caramel.
classics.
Oh, the
Wonder Bar,
Nestle.
Butterfinger. I don't think Butterfinger specifically had any, but those kinds of small chocolate bars.
Well, I also was a big fan of the Cadbury snackables, like the Cadbury Dairy Milks
Oh my god, Dairy Milk.
and the Caramel.
Dude, Dairy Milk and Caramel and anything Cadbury.
Also,
Fantastic.
I always thought those were like Easter oriented though.
No, those are the mini
Cadbury-
eggs and
Mini
the cream
eggs.
eggs.
Cadbury kind of has.
And the plucking rabbits.
Sure.
Cadbury,
Why not?
Those commercials.
Cadbury has. They have chocolates for Easter, Christmas, and Halloween.
Fucking rabbit
I
shitting
went
out.
to a really
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Valentine's Day.
I don't want to picture a rabbit shitting out a chocolate egg.
This tried to be related to like chocolate stuff when I was in 8th grade.
Shut up! Oh my god!
Die!
I would be looking up all the
Guys,
chocolate makers
you're laughing
on the
like
website.
jackasses over Josh trying to talk.
Sorry.
Can
I
we
know
put me
chocolate
out?
stuff delicious. I went through a phase in 8th grade when I would look up all the chocolate makers on the website. So like all the Hershey stuff, all the Cadbury stuff, Nestle, any chocolate maker, and I have all these like this giant bookmarks folder of everything. So that was an exciting time. Hershey. I know. Oh yeah, cookies and cream.
Oh,
Big
cookies
portions
and-
Now we're
will
talking.
always be the best.
Cookies and cream Hershey. Oh.
I know regular Hershey's chocolate is really good, but cookies and cream, nothing chocolate-wise will probably ever top that.
Absolutely. Yes, that's a great
Amazing.
choice. That's
You're
a great
forgiven
choice.
for slandering Lay's.
Wait a minute.
I'm not,
remember?
What are yours?
I'm not big on cookies and cream, I'm afraid.
Oh.
But,
A non-believer.
You're
Crucified.
I'm just but I'm glad you guys like it. It's clearly popular.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what else I
What about Halloween themed Hershey Kisses?
Those are good.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
those are
it's
nice.
simple, but
When
they're
they do
good.
the hugs as well, those are I think the white chocolate ones. I don't know if they ever are for Halloween, but Yeah,
Did you guys ever do the thing where you get Reese's Pieces and you kind of lay them out like E.T.?
Oh my God! I
course.
stand corrected. Reese peanut butter cups is
Yeah,
standing atop
Now-
the small one.
Now that we've all, now that
we
we've
also have a misbeliever.
Okay. I gotta say something. Now that we've all dumped our favorite candies like on the floor,
Well,
like we
I
just got back from a night of trick or treating.
I haven't said mine yet.
What were yours, Lyle?
Well, you guys mentioned all the ones. I'll just say one treat, and that is candy apples. Seasonal blessing right there. I love me some candy.
Go back to
apples.
the
I respect your
1950s.
people's right to enjoy
No, I'm
them, but
joking.
they're
Or
not for
caramel
me. I
apples.
can have like caramel or chocolate on its own. I can have an apple on its own. Together,
I'm kind of the same way with
Oh,
I'm
you guys
the
don't
same
like
way with
them, huh?
Reese's Pieces. Actually, I'm the
Now-
exact same way. I like chocolate. I like peanut butter, but some
Okay.
great things are not meant to be together.
Speaking of apples,
Remember bobbing for apples?
I was just about to say that.
Can't do that these days.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no. Maybe we'll be able to do it next
As
year.
long as it's in a big bucket of sanitizer.
Yeah, like,
Bobbing for apples.
can you imagine like
Hey, no,
Purell flavor? Purell will have like a giant bucket. Like Bob for apples in the hand sanitizer. Side effects may. Bob for apples and hand sanitizer. Side effects may include poison.
Oh,
Do
Christ.
not ingest.
That's too much.
No. Can you imagine a bunch of Trump supporters bobbing for apples in Lysol?
Trump approves. That's the sign underneath.
And with that,
Stay wholesome.
okay. And with that, we shall transition into our favorite Halloween song to listen to.
All right.
It's not a transition, but it's a segue.
Well, much like how Evan opened up this whole podcast, if you guys are mortal, can you resist the evil of the thriller?
Hey, I believe Vincent Price guest appeared
Yes, he did the
in the
narration
first
for
few
that. I had to
seconds
laugh at the
of
end.
our.
That's what I said. You kind of gave it away. But yeah. Thriller. Michael Jackson off of Thriller. I mean, honestly, it's a great little dance party song, but it really is the best part of it is at the end with that organ and the Vincent Price narration.
Yeah.
I just love that. That's like Halloween, creepy, fun Halloween, like enticing.
The
It was so
music video
good.
itself feels like an actual short film, and that's like the
Oh, God.
quality of that.
Oh, the music video.
That
Yeah.
music video, John Landis, man, top of his form.
When it freeze frames
Until
at
the
the
accident.
end on
With
that
Michael
face.
Jackson as the
Yeah.
werewolf.
I love that. That organ was so good that it was in the trailer for the second season of Stranger Things, and it made it look so freaking good.
Yeah, I remember that trailer.
Yeah.
Remember
played-
when that was the best things in sliced bread?
Yeah.
Stranger Things?
Stranger Things. Every season is on repeat.
Yeah.
Well, at least there's only going to be 5 of them, Cody.
Oh, has that been confirmed? Really?
Yeah, since the beginning.
Oh, thank God!
They're not milking
I want
Yay,
the show to end already. I wanted it to be one season.
So you thought
Probably should've.
2 was stretching it?
2 was not that great. 3 was a bit better,
Okay,
but
what is it with Netflix shows and having amazing first seasons, but jumping the shark anything after?
because
the first
popular
season?
demand.
No,
That's all it is.
no. 13 Reasons Why was the same thing. I liked the first
Yeah.
season, 13 Reasons Why. Second season
Was dog shit. Yeah.
Third season, what the hell? Fourth season,
They
okay,
made
you had
4?
to. No, yeah, they made 4 seasons
Oh
of
my
13
God.
Reasons Why.
But no, sorry, Thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great little party song, short and
Yeah.
simple. I like
Very
it.
short and simple, yes.
Yeah.
Well, much like
And
how...
the dance as pretty iconic in its own right.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh,
I was like to the guys, I said, hey, try to guess my song. I just did that one pose, and they're like, Thriller.
they
I remember, as an aside, when I was working at a day camp, I think this was the summer of 2009, so it would have fit the timeline, or 2010. I definitely remember during a break between cabins, the person that had been, the specialist that was doing dance, and the two recording, me and the recording guy that I'd known, we did the Thriller dance at one point, just like for fun outside, so that was fun. I didn't suck at it.
There you go.
It's the low bar. And I think in terms of spooky songs, I think that's probably the darkest in his canon. But there is there is always Smooth Criminal, sort of like another sort of
Yeah.
dark turn, but
Could be
it's more
interpreted that
upbeat
way.
in its.
I always look at like film noir when I hear Smooth Criminal.
But the
Press X to. Woo!
have any of you seen Moonwalker, in which Smooth Criminal was
No,
featured?
I haven't actually.
Have any of you played Moonwalker?
I hope not.
Okay, so
I
hope to never play
Moonwalker,
that.
the musical dance sequence to Smooth Criminal is actually like really damn good. Like it's on par with Thriller.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
on par. Doug Walker has even said better than Thriller. It's an unpopular opinion, but I would say on par with Thriller. It's really good.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So we're gonna get a full-on musical of Moonwalker now?
Hey, I didn't say nothing.
You said plenty.
It's gonna happen.
I mean, once didn't the whole Leaving Neverland documentary kind of taint his reputation forever?
Art from the artist. It goes back to that.
Yeah, no, give it 20, 30 years. There'll be a Moonwalker musical.
Absolutely.
No, look, in 2059, he was born in what, 59 or 58?
Well, he was 50 when he passed away, so.
Yeah, no, 59. So in 2059, there will be a Michael Jackson memorial of some kind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
So,
well,
Hey, maybe by then they'll release the true Sonic 3 soundtrack.
That'd be nice.
Give me some more
Yeah,
songs.
that's
Who's up?
Alright,
More songs.
next for me, well, much like how I spoiled the Charlie Brown thing for Josh spoiled the Nightmare Before Christmas thing for my pick, so I have to scramble to think of other things. But yes, Nightmare Revisited, incredible Halloween album. Fuck. Is anyone covering Rocky Horror?
Nope.
Oh
Okay,
my
then
god.
fine, yeah.
Time Warp is a
Time Warp.
classic.
Let's do the time warp, yeah!
It's just a jump to the left.
And then it's up to the right!
Put your hands on your hips!
I think we asked this question in the group recently, but what is the best science fiction double feature?
Science fiction.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember what I even said for that.
That was a callback. If I mention Repo Man, Cody will murder me on sight, so I will cut it.
Oh, because you mentioned it so
I
much.
mentioned it so
Yeah,
much,
sure.
so he's gonna pop my head off. So I will simmer down. I will step out. But
No,
anyways,
Rocky
yes,
Horror Picture Show. That's great. Soundtrack,
Rocky Horror
yeah.
Picture Show soundtracks, classic.
Absolutely.
Time Warp. There's a light over the Frankenstein place. Sweet transvestite.
Yeah, that song in particular, Tim Curry can get it.
Mm-hmm.
And also Hot Patootie.
Hot Patootie a classic too. Yes.
I don't know if this counts as strictly Halloween, but it's got some like dark themes. Which, speaking of Meatloaf and concept albums and Halloween, Bat Out of Hell.
Oh,
That's
yes.
I mean, where else are you gonna find a title track that is pretty rollicking in its own right, but then you have a mammoth love song of sorts in Paradise by the Dashboard Light?
Isn't that also an Ozzy album as well? Bad Out of Hell? Or something?
No, you're thinking, what is that, Blizzard of Oz?
Blizzard of Oz, sorry. Yes, I take that back.
That's wicked. Well, I mean, I might as well go ahead with mine because or one of you just spoiled it.
I shot out a bunch, so you take it
We
away.
gotta talk about the immortal, the classic, the Monster Mash.
Do 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 do.
To the monster.
So,
mash.
Josh,
You love classic for a reason.
Josh, have you ever listened to? Do you listen to that song on Valentine's Day too?
Why you do
No,
this
we
to
already
me?
made that joke when we talked about
Why
that
do you do
one.
this to me?
Why do you do this?
I love that in joke, but just like the sort of, it seems like a novelty song, but just in essence, it's really just simple and effective in its premise. Just, it's like this guy basically just introducing this party that all the monsters are at, and it sounds fun. It's like the dance they're doing is so easy that anyone can do it. It was funny that in the 1989 season for the Oakland Athletics, they actually, at least when I was watching the World Series video from that year, they sort of had this like parody of it, where it's like, because the whole thing was the Bash Brothers with like Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, and a bunch of other players. So it's like, and do the bash, and do the monster bash, because like they would bash their shoulders together after they hit home run. So that was a funny little parody of it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Bobby Pickett would basically just do a bunch of impressions of various people, like Boris Karloff, obviously, in the nickname, Bela Lugosi, Peter Lorre, and it's just the whole song is literally just making fun of dance crazes of the time of the '60s. So it's like
Well,
I'm sure it's like those other songs that make fun of things.
Well, being a loving tribute to Universal monster movies.
Yeah.
Agreed. And you can never go wrong with getting people into the classics.
Yeah.
I think I was introduced to that song. I don't know if you guys like have heard of this one, but there was this one movie called Monster Mash. And it was made by Dick Entertainment. It was about a family. There's basically like Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman are being like, "Oh, you guys aren't scary anymore." So you have one last chance. You have to scare this random American family, and we're gonna invite them to this castle, and you gotta spook them out of the house.
Wait a minute. This
Why do I feel like
Transylvania prequel is really weird.
I've seen this before.
You might, yeah. I think David's seen it. We talked about it once, and I was like, "Oh, I can't
Geek
believe it."
Entertainment always confuses me.
Yeah, they're not the best.
They
but
have hits, but when they miss really bad.
They really do. But anyways, yeah, that's how I was introduced to the song. I'm not sure if anyone else remembers that.
Oh, and we were talking about the Misfits earlier. They also have covered this song.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. I accidentally spoiled it for you, so the cycle
All
continues.
right. And where else will you have drumming from Dr. Chud?
I do not frickin' know.
That was the drummer at the time.
There's many drummers. Yeah, they can't.
But there's only one, Dr. Chud.
Yep. Then that is his legacy.
I'm trying to think of like a newer Halloween song I could kind of recommend. I mean, granted, it is kind of a more recent one from last year, but I kind of think because of the subject matter it was written during, it might be fall under too real, the too real category. Parasite Eve by Bring Me the Horizon. Because it's essentially about, the isolation and just sort of paranoia of living in quarantine. And that whole, and sort of obviously, politicians' reactions or lack thereof to having proper measures in place. That whole line of, when we forget the infection, will we remember the lesson? If the suspense doesn't kill you, something else will.
It's scary because it's true.
Yeah, because the scariest types of stories are true stories, or freaky ones, or both.
No.
It's the stories that happened to a friend of mine.
Get out of here. The whole post-human survival horror EP by Bring Me the Horizon has that it's very much an industrial metal kind of sound, but I mean it is produced by Mick Gordon, who's done the soundtracks for Doom and worked on some of the stuff for Doom Eternal, like Doom as in Doom 2016. So it's got a bit of a video gamey sound, but there are songs about isolation, paranoia, fear, depression, things like that. But there's also some really good ones in there. Now I have to look up. I first moved it was just over a year ago actually. That was one of the first records I sort of spun while I was here. Also Teardrops. Teardrops is sort of, there's that line of the emptiness is heavier than you think. And there's also, let me see here. There's the closer, One Day the Only Butterflies Left, etc., which is just a sort of duet between Ollie Sykes and Amy Lee from Evanescence.
Nice. That's a very good shout out.
And One by One as well, which features Nova Twins. There's some parts where it does kind of sound like Linkin Park, but like just the whole idea of any music that was recorded that really came out during quarantine is like it could be like the Halloween that this is a Halloween that never ends.
Just goes on and on.
I know. I just thought of it now, but what are some of yours, Evan?
Yeah.
My favorite Halloween song by far is obviously I'm a big fan of Thriller and all the classics, but there's one that because I was asking Cody if he had heard of it earlier and he hasn't. Josh may have heard of it. Lyle, I don't think you've heard of it.
Probably not. No.
There's an 80s song by the Ministry called Every Day is Halloween, and it's a really cool dance tune. Like if you were dancing to what's the genre? It's just a fun dance song, and my favorite lyric in the whole song is, "Well, I let their teeny minds think that they're dealing with someone who is over the brink, and I dress this way just to keep them at bay, 'cause Halloween is every day." The song is about a guy who dresses up year-round, even when it's not Halloween, and his society just views him as an outcast, and the whole song is him complaining about how he doesn't fit in.
Meanwhile, he's calling out society for being the freaks when he himself is not a freak.
That's a deep cut.
Oh yeah, no, it's a song that has always really stuck with me. And and it's one of those songs that even if it's not October, I can still listen to it any time of year. Like, hence the title, "Every Day is Halloween," and also Halloween is my favorite holiday. So.
Would Dragula by Rob Zombie be considered?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Rob Zombie is a nice contender.
Dragula.
White Zombie as well.
Ditches and burn.
A Thunder Kiss or I would say Supercharger Heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a whole Devil Man, which reminds me of the OVA. There's a manga and then an OVA of the Japanese work Devil Man.
Oh, and More Human Than a Human.
And Living Dead Girl.
With the woman's orgasm at the beginning, not the radio cut.
Ah, yes. Oh, shoot. Oh, if we want to talk about actual classic records that are really dark and haunting, The Downward Spiral.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you have
Also
Big Man with a Gun.
Also mentioned in our album episode.
Of course, Closer. But I mean, even the end with Hurt. I mean, yes, Johnny Cash's cover of Hurt far surpasses the original.
Yeah, Evan, have you got on that? I'm smoking a bowl and listening to The Downward Spiral and literally losing your fucking mind.
And even Broken is like, if The Downward Spiral is that era of Nine Inch Nails and that era of Trent's sort of psyche at its darkest, Broken is, well, the EP that came out 2 years before this, but it is Nine Inch Nails at its most furious and its most aggressive. Like, Happiness and Slavery, Wish, Help Me, I Am in Hell.
Yeah, Wish is a great one. Yeah. There's also on Pretty Hate Machine, Terrible Lie, and Head Like a Hole as well. I hear that one pop star in Black Mirror does a good cover of it. Oh yeah, fucking Miley Cyrus.
I've seen a hip thing people have seen.
Miley Cyrus, that fucking episode sucked.
No, Cody, it's Ashley O.
Oh yeah, Ashley O. What's the other song that goes? I'm forgetting the name of it. It's like I was all above it, down on it, yeah, or down with it, yeah.
It's Something I Can Never Have. Essentially, depression and Nine Inch Nails. For the early stuff.
You know what?
Kind of go together.
But it has like a good like kind of spooky sensibility to it. That's why it's a good way to bring it up, actually. Nin.
Speaking of spooky, the song "Spooky" from the '60s is a classic. It's been covered.
Oh yes, Atlanta Rhythm Section.
Yeah, it's been covered several times. But I know "Spooky" is a great song.
What was that from?
When my dad would play Sirius XM The Bridge, I would hear "Spooky" on this. That's actually got a really good groove to it.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it the thing where someone's wearing a Nine Inch Nails shirt at school and the other kid's trying to fit in? So he goes, "Oh hey, I like Nin." What was that from? I forget what it was.
I don't know.
He totally struck out trying to be cool. I like Nin.
So, in essence, we've talked a lot about Halloween and the many things and factors we like about it.
Yeah.
But what is the thing you take most out of the holiday? What's the most pleasure you take out of it?
At first, growing up, it was obviously trick-or-treating. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
As you grow a little bit older, I never really I never attended any Halloween parties, to be honest. A few get-togethers, like actually back in 2015. My friend Jess had a little get-together with a few friends of all of ours, our circle of friends, and I went as a Jedi because in a couple months during that time, a certain franchise was coming back, so obviously I was kind of on that hype train.
Yeah, you got the beard.
Yeah, I have the Jedi beard, so
nice.
that was kind of like the last time I had a little get-together. As an adult, all I have left is sitting down on my ass with candy and watching horror films.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's basically the month of October. But Halloween at the very end, I at least try to watch the quintessential Halloween movie. Like last year was actually Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. This year, even though I've already seen Trick or Treats, I want to rewatch it because that's like Halloween porn. That movie. But yeah,
anybody any ideas there?
Werewolves.
I'm sure it's on Pornhub somewhere.
Oh man, I just realized a movie someone should have picked. I should have picked it. An American Werewolf in London.
That's a great one.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Another classic John Landis.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's it.
Awesome.
But that's
got good music choices too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But to me, Halloween is all just about that feeling of just try to get a little bit spooked.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to one good scare on Halloween.
Absolutely.
Also, one of the parts that I liked about Halloween was, we've all been to Halloween Haunt over at Canada's Wonderland.
Not me, but most of you.
That's the very first time I've ever been to Canada's Wonderland. Actually.
Oh yeah.
Back in 2012. Yeah, we went to the Halloween walk there.
Yeah. What did you think of the maze? The maze is.
It
You just insulted you just ended your entire career.
I've been to. Let's just say, put it this way: I've been to better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
they're kind of the same.
Yeah. It's the same gist in any maze you go. Well, I did work in our Wonderland episode, but I did work in one of those mazes. Yeah.
One thing I always appreciate about Halloween are the decorations.
Oh yeah, sure.
When I'm a kid, when I
Haunted houses when I was growing up, some of them go all out. There was one not far from where it was like on one of the main streets in my area. They would always really make an immersive house to the point where it didn't even look like you were walking through a front yard or anything.
Yeah, no, I love it when some people really put in the extra effort and they put in all these like effects and you can hear
Evergreen
music
Evergreen terrors.
Yeah.
In The Simpsons.
Yeah.
The smoke machines, the fog, and all that.
The spiders, the cackling.
The
It's Halloween Haunt, but it's free.
I hate when
Exactly.
I hate when people put stuffed mannequins on their porch, but it's actually a real fucking person.
Oh man,
Oh
They turn
my
their
God,
head.
that gives me flashbacks to people like when people paint themselves as something and do the whole statue thing.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, man. When you do that, you better have protection on your ankles and shins.
You get
'cause
punched in the face.
Kids are gonna kick and punch you for sure.
No,
It's all
I
in the
hate
mind.
those. I hate those cauldrons where you have like the hand that's out. You put your hand in like and it grabs you.
Yeah.
Like it always scared me.
Those plastic, you can buy those plastic bowls at Walmart, and
I have, like, a
once
little
you get past
skull.
the fact that the hand will come down, it's not
I
that.
But
hate
what about the
those.
ones where it's like a ghoul or something? If you walk too close, it starts moving and.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
no,
like
we have
those.
like a little skull we'd hang up on top like the porch light and flick out like
Oh.
See, that's what I liked growing up, and honestly,
And the
I don't know-
fake
I don't know if
tombstones
it's
they
just-
plant in the garden too. That stuff.
I don't know if it's just a generational thing, but people that are homeowners and are doing Halloween, giving out treats, they get lazy. It's just they come up, trick or treat, you put the candy in, then you leave,
Well,
and they don't care.
That's the reality of when you go from being a kid to where you have all this free time to think about, oh, what am I going to put together for a costume? I wonder how much candy I'll get. When you're an adult, you'll likely spend an entire work day working hard to support your family, and in most cases, you come home. Especially if your kids are older or they've left the nest, you're going to want that time for yourself.
But it's also the fact that it is trick or treat. It's just you should walk up and say treat,
Yeah.
and then
kinda
walk
what it
away.
is.
Does anyone ever?
Treat.
No, like, seriously, it's like-
wrong answer.
No, because if you go up saying treats, it's like, what are you entitled?
What? But there's no tricks.
Like,
people
what-
don't do anything anymore.
But here's the thing, like, what trick or treat? Like, what happens if you say, hey, I'll give you a trick instead? Like, what are you gonna give them? Like a fortune cookie?
No, you're gonna trick or treat, close the door, lock it, turn the lights off. There's the trick.
There's
Yeah.
your trick.
As an aside, in terms of like decoration stuff, we used to also have these like fake cobwebs we put in like the bushes in the front garden. But the trick with that, the tricky thing with that is that if it rained afterwards or if it got cold, it would get very hard to actually get that stuff out. I mean, in general,
Oh,
those
yeah.
things are kind of a pain too.
Yeah. Now-
I used to have this bat. It was like a hang-up bat. This is my last point. But it was we had this. If you open the door, there was this robot bat that would just come down on a string. You're like, and it would climb back up again. One time I pulled a prank on my mom. She was like getting her shoes on. I'm like, hey mom, yeah. I clapped in the thing and like bopped her on the head.
Hey mom, then you clapped back.
Yeah, we threw that. She threw it out after that.
I think also when
that's
you're
funny.
young, you look forward to things like carving pumpkins, and you
Oh,
would get
yes.
the books of stencils out, and you tape it over, and you like the precision and patience you need to take a little saw and very carefully etch over over something. I have pictures of how awesome some of the pumpkins looked as when I was a kid. They were cool, but when I got older, I kind of I don't know if I lacked the motor skills, the patience, or both to like sit there for an hour and do it. Maybe it was like a persistent thing, a persistent action, but it just kind of got frustrating for me. And I do think when you guys get to be an adult, though, you do appreciate the being able to look around and see some of the artsiness in other people doing stuff, but then also the simplicity of having some time to yourself and just sort of live it through your kids, especially because the last few years, and even if especially if it's going to rain or be really cold on Halloween, or you're in an area like I was when most of the kids had grown up at that point, it's going to be pretty quiet. But I think that's how it should be sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially because, you can only, I think I just said it earlier, you can only really live Halloween through your kids or through younger people when you're an adult. I mean, unless you do want to still dress up and stuff. But it's so important to, at least have some aspect of that. You don't always have to dress up, but like that creative spirit is always useful to have.
Oh yeah, it's definitely my favorite holiday for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I just kind of go, eh.
One of my favorite parts of Halloween was...
We'll get to my favorite in a couple of months. Give me a break.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just gonna go all decked out in red and white.
My favorite holiday is when we record an episode because there's no set time for it. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
Aw, that's nice, Josh. Thanks.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Evan?
So my favorite parts of Halloween was back when we were in elementary school, where you actually got to wear your costume to school.
Yeah,
those were great.
That was great.
Yeah,
Like,
I love
compare it to your friends. Compare it to your friends, and then like if your circle of friends, as the one that mine and Josh were a part of, had imagination, we pretended to we brought our characters to life. Like it would be Darth Vader versus a Power Ranger, or Neo one year versus.
But
It
also,
was basically our own version of Ultimate Showdown before that video happened.
Yeah.
but also, to my eyes, cosplay culture sort of made
Yeah, there's
Halloween.
definitely a link between Halloween costumes and cosplay.
Yeah,
for sure.
it sort of made the season feel not as special anymore. I don't know.
Well, cosplaying
There's
is
a
an
degree of
art.
specialness to it.
Cosplaying is like Halloween, but on a budget.
Yeah.
Halloween if you've got money.
Yes and no. It's on a budget, but also it's about hyper accuracy, or
Yes.
it's about projecting, like making your own version of an existing
Oh, yeah.
character. But like,
Yeah.
gender swapping, alternate universes, things like that.
Yeah,
It's more for
absolutely.
conventions where there's more of an audience. Halloween is more for you yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like cosplay, there's some like very creative craft to it, and definitely credit to where credit is due. I don't know. I'm just old and bitter, and I'm getting tired.
It's a great
And go
excuse.
while it coke.
You do. But,
Give me some candy. Wake me up.
It's a great excuse to watch
Wake
horror movies,
me
so.
up when October.
No.
There we
That's
go.
Man, I'm getting
Oh,
on.
God.
Josh, your caliber of humor is rising in all of us.
Oh, God.
The music humor, it's rubbing off.
I think people got sick of that joke even years ago before social media would like do it as soon as it became August 31st.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the one thing with Halloween is it is essentially the signal that it's the last real part of the year, because now, especially in the last year or two, as soon as November 1st hits,
Christmas shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You hear
yeah.
carols. Oh my god.
You know
November
what? Okay,
November
so-
1st.
Wait, okay, audience, join us for our next holiday special coming out in T-minus 2 months, because Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa! Oh my god!
I thought we were going to call it the Christmaka episode.
Ah, yes.
I was gonna say, there's other holidays we should.
That's
touch
true,
on as
yeah,
well.
we're gonna have to talk about that.
oh,
movie.
The Assorted Holidays special. Something like
Yeah,
that.
the
Put it-
holiday special.
Put away your treats and make way for some candy canes.
Grab your Yule logs,
Nice.
or the rest of you,
Yeah.
if it's for the rest of us.
Some eggnog with rum.
And
Nah.
or Bailey's.
Emphasis on the rum.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here. I just want to enjoy
Hey,
my...
well, Christmas starts so early.
Oh yeah, even,
Yeah, Christmas-
even so to
Halloween
speak,
is
we
about
start early.
enjoying
Christmas
being
starts
something
when
else
Halloween ends.
While you have that time. Because again, before you know it, it'll be the Christmas rush into New Year's, and then we're already into a brand new calendar year. It's just about enjoying the simpler things in life and being around like-minded people that do in kind.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Happy Halloween!
Woo!